Hello guys, welcome back. It's Monday night, which means tonight we're doing a watch-along for Monday Night RAW. And I'm watching the intro right now to Raw. There's a new Tron going on. It's the season premiere of Monday Night Raw. There are new stars that are showing up from. There are new stars that are showing up from SmackDown. For the blue brand, they're crossing over to the red brand, and it all begins tonight. Tonight marks the new era of Monday Night Raw, and sadly, they don't have a new theme song. They don't have the new theme song for Raw. It's the same old song. It's same old rap and hip hop. They still have the same old Raw bot. So it's still very much a PG show. We're still, checking out the hip hop rap stuff. Yeah, kind of like the 96, 97 era. Yeah, that's true. Kind of like that. But I don't like the hip hop song. I would prefer something like rock, something metal, like the good old days. Not a big fan of the rap stuff when it comes to WWE. It's still very PG for me. So that's one complaint that I have with that. But when Raw went on the air, after the Tron, after the intro video, it actually had a bit of a funny moment because it cut to something floor. The video camera was focusing towards the floor and somebody's feet. So that was a bit funny moment. And then they had to cut it to the stage where the camera should have been at first. So I don't know if you guys checked that out or not. But once they cut from the opening video, they cut to the camera that was pointing towards somebody's feet and the floor. So a bit of a glitch to start the season premiere of Raw. Yes, rock and metal. Even today's WWE video games, when they get released finally next year, I'm pretty sure it's going to have a lot of hip hop and rap as well, which is so cheesy, right? It's so it's so hip, it's so PG. So yeah, definitely missed the metal and the rock. But when I talk about metal and the rock, I'm not a big fan of whatever AEW has going either. I'm not a big fan of their music either. So the good old days of WWE is where they had excellent music. So kind of miss that. And Big E is right here opening Raw. He's a WWE Champion. He's the face of the new era of Raw.
Boys and girls, cats and dogs, welcome to the season premiere of
Yeah, so he's the face of the season premiere of Monday Night Raw. And here he is, welcoming ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, even cats and dogs. Nicole, good to see you. I'm very good. How are you doing? It is showtime, as Kay just said. It's showtime. Right, good for everybody. Good to see everybody tune again. Did Mickie James win? Yes, Nicole. Mickie James won. You were right. Mickie James won at Bound for Glory. So Texas it is. And Texas is where WWE is going with its WrestleMania 38 next year. The tickets for the show are going to go on sale next month. So on the 8th of November, they're releasing the travel packages for WrestleMania 38. And on the 12th, they're releasing solo tickets for WrestleMania 38. So if you want to go to WrestleMania, you got to be fast and you got to be ready next month because of these tickets, they sell out really, very quick. Yep, let's go. Let's go.
That's beautiful. That's very beautiful. Good luck to your Astros. Good luck. Now, I'm also curious if I mentioned your oh so gracious and brand new King of the Ring. My brother and yours, Xavier Woods. Now, I also have to tip my cap to Drew McIntyre. A man who pushed me, a man who sharpened my iron, a man who is the reason that I am better today than I was a week ago. But as we all know, there is no rest for the weary. And as we have this influx of incredible talent from SmackDown to Raw.
All right, isn't that sweet? So Big E is basically given appreciating Drew McIntyre, saying that he made him a better person, a better wrestler. And look who's here. A guy who's now moving over, and now we have here Seth Rollins, who's making his entrance. Now, he's moving over from SmackDown. He's making his presence known on Raw. And Seth Rollins, he was in a match that was much appreciated. In the opening match of Crown Jewel, a match that definitely stole the show that night in Saudi Arabia, in a Hell in a Cell match against Edge. And he is here. He's going to come face-to-face against Big E, the WWE Champion. I think it's pretty much apparent. Seth Rollins is here for the WWE Championship. Good to see everybody. Thanks for tuning in. New Day getting weight pushed too much. Their persona doesn't promote champions. I know. And KJ says it all the time. He says Big E is not the way that champions should work, you know. And we're seeing Big E out here addressing fans, addressing boys and girls, addressing cats and dogs, dancing around in the ring, doing unorthodox things that you would never expect for a champion to do. And he's doing all of that, and he's able to pull it off because, you know, he's Big E, and he is able to reach this point in his career because of his attitude, because of his carefree self. So no matter what he does, it's going to work. How long is it going to work for? We'll just have to see that. Yep, Rollins is here. Hey, good to see you, Nicholas. Thanks for tuning in. Hope you're doing well as well. Okay, and Seth Rollins out here just here to laugh at Big E at this point.
And I want that title around your waist as soon as possible. You don't seem to hear too well. You lost to Edge.
Alright, so question from Nicholas. Is it me, or does Big E look a bit uncomfortable, nervous? You know, he does. I agree. He does look... When he was with the New Day, when he was with his pals, he looked more, you know, comfortable. He looked like he was in control. Now he looks a bit nervous. I agree with you. But I guess that's what's happening. He's all alone. He doesn't have his pals next to him anymore. He's going head-to-head, face-to-face with former champions, with such great wrestlers. He himself is a good wrestler, but he's still new to these shoes. He's still new as WWE Champion, so it's understandable. Good to see you, Filmation. How are you doing today? Is Seth Rollins going to challenge Big E for the title? It does look like it. Seth Rollins says he wants the title. Let's see what's going to happen. Looks like Seth Rollins wants Big E versus Seth Rollins for the WWE Championship right here tonight. Of course, you know, Big E being the baby face, he wasn't going to turn down the challenge. He was going to take it. But of course, they don't want to give us Big E versus Seth Rollins on free TV, right? And that's why we're having Rey Mysterio come out right now. I agree. I definitely agree with you. Absolutely.
After getting your head bashed in by Edge. Now, it has been a minute since me and you have seen eye to eye.
Okay, Rey Mysterio referencing to the eye-to-eye match that he had with Seth Rollins back in the Thunderdome era, back in the Performance Center era, I believe. You know, those were the days when there were no fans in the audience and they had some extremely crazy ideas, extremely, I don't know. The eye-to-eye was a very uncomfortable idea that they had for the Seth Rollins versus Rey Mysterio feud, but it did happen. I wasn't a fan of it. Were you? Let me know. Yep, there is a lot of agreement going on in the comments. Big E does look uncomfortable. He does not look fluid in the ring. You know, if you look at... I know you don't like what's happening right now, But if you look at Rey Mysterio, if you look at Seth Rollins, they both look way more comfortable in the ring than Big E does right now. So you gotta give that. You gotta admit that he definitely looks like the new shy kid in the arena, in the ring right now. And Finn Balor is here. So, are we gonna get a number one qualifiers tournament, a number one qualifying maybe match tonight? It does look like that's where it's heading.
Hey Ray, you know man, I got nothing but love for you. But with all due respect, I am a two-time NXT champion.
Okay. I'm not sure about you guys, but I used to love Finn Balor. I absolutely loved him when he became Universal Champion. I still loved him when he had to surrender his title. But, when he came back and he went back to NXT and he came back here, I don't know if it's about his attitude or what, but I just haven't been able to get behind him. I just haven't been. He's done some incredible work at NXT after coming back. And even now, he continues to do good stuff, but I just haven't been able to get behind Finn Balor. I used to be crazy behind him before he became Universal Champion, even when he was Universal Champion, but now it just doesn't work. And I expected there to be more people, and look who's here, by the way. There's Kevin Owens also who's coming up. So it looks like it could be a fatal four-way, and I'm glad Kevin Owens is here. I was missing him. Good to see that he's back on TV.
I don't want to be that guy, but if we're gonna come out here and talk about,
I'm just glad he's here. And guys, I don't know if you heard, but we posted it on our Instagram just yesterday, earlier today, that a replay of SmackDown that aired on Saturday on Fox at the same time that AEW's Dynamite Live aired on TNT. So these two shows went head-to-head this past Saturday. And guess who won? Guess who drew bigger numbers? It was SmackDown. A replay episode of SmackDown drew bigger numbers than a live episode of AEW Dynamite could this past Saturday. It happened. Even with all the star power, even with the JR, with the CM Punk, with the Bryan Danielson, with the Adam Cole, with all the stars that they have, they could not beat a replay episode of SmackDown. And I don't want Kevin Owens to go to AEW. I'm not being a hater. I love AEW. I love whatever they're doing. But I don't want Kevin Owens to go to AEW. I love him in the WWE. But let's see what happens. Let's see. I'm happy to see KO. Me too. Me too. Oh yeah, exactly. Exactly what I'm saying, Nicholas. He's a gem. And I would hate for him to leave the WWE. And I would love to see him win the WWE Championship. Maybe take it off Big E's shoulders. I don't know. Let's see. Oh, Sonya Deville is here. Okay. Of course. Honesty Chad basically called it. Triple threat number one contenders. We're getting a fatal four-way now that KO is involved too.
Monday Night RAW. Why don't we up the ante a little bit? Why don't we raise the stakes?
What's happening?
It's gonna be a fatal four-way ladder match.
Okay. I'm not sure why Seth Rollins is bad. It sounds like a great idea. I like it. We're having Finn Balor versus Seth Rollins versus Kevin Owens. Look at Big E. Big E looks very, very happy, by the way. He looks happy. Okay, so it's sure. We're having a fatal four-way match, a ladder match, for the number one contenders for the WWE Championship. Whoever wins that match will face Big E for the WWE title. When will that match take place? We don't know that yet. But tonight, it's going to be a fatal four-way number one contenders ladder match, which is probably going to be the main event of the night. Good stuff. Good stuff. Seth will have to get over it. Ray is Jeff Hardy style filler, it appears. I agree. I agree. He's just a filler. A fatal for real ladder. Yep, KJ is happy. He's excited. Maybe he'll have something good to say about this show on his breakdown show later tonight. And how many times are we going to see Matt Riddle making his entrance on a camel? We get it. He was on the back of a camel, and he, made the camel walk him down to the ring. I get it. How many times are we going to see it? I want B to win. What do you mean? I don't get it. Who do you want to win? So we're seeing the Street Profits. I don't know. It's a season premiere. Do you really want the Street Profits to be the first match of the night? I guess we should just be happy that we're getting a match, 15 minutes into the show, because when we saw SmackDown, we did not get a match this past Friday, at least 30 to 45 minutes into the show. So I guess we should be grateful that we're getting a wrestling match 15 minutes into the show on Monday Night Raw. But still, Street Profits? Really? I'm not a big fan of Street Profits. Are you guys? Let me know what you think. It's gotta be triple threat. Okay, triple threat match. And it is also for the number one contenders. It is Bobby Roode, Ziggler, Street Profits, and Omos and Chad Gable. So it's triple threat tag team. Whoever wins a shot at the Raw Tag Team Championship, which is currently held by AJ Styles and Omos. Let's see what happens. You want Big E to it? Big E. All right. Okay. Well, whoever wins tonight will go on to face Big E. So we'll see what happens then. But tonight is not about, the Big E. Tonight is not about, the championship. Tonight is about the number one contendership for the championship. So let's see who wins tonight and when they will go on to face Big E for the championship itself. Now we are on commercial, and this is where I miss AEW. As KJ loves to say, picture in picture is fantastic, and we just don't get to see it on Raw, on SmackDown. So that's just where I miss a little bit of AEW. But that's okay. But speaking of commercials, guys, you guys need to tune into Impact because they have the shortest commercials and some of the best wrestling in the industry today. So if you guys aren't tuning into to Impact Wrestling every Thursday, you're missing out. And the best part about Impact Wrestling is that not a lot of people watch Impact Wrestling, and that's why they have shorter commercials. And you can actually enjoy the show. You can actually enjoy Impact Wrestling without being bombarded by fan opinion online. And that's the best part about it. You can just watch Impact Wrestling peacefully and enjoy it peacefully without being criticized for your opinion on the show. And that's why it's so fantastic. That's another reason why you should be tuning in. And that's why I tune in every single night on Thursday. It's incredible. It's a 3-hour show. I come prepared. So, picture rules. You're right. Absolutely. Maybe finally Ziggler and Roode get put in a program of purpose with Orton and Riddle. I mean, I agree. If you look at all the three teams, you look at Ziggler, Roode, you look at, the Street Profits, or you look at Chad Gable and Otis. Ziggler and Roode actually sound like a real threat to Orton and Matt Riddle and Omos and AJ. So they sound like real competition. They sound like people who can go head to head and toe to toe with these tag teams. So let's see what happens. Commercials, they're just way too long. Way too long. But by the way, guys, what do you think about Otis? I mean, this guy won the Money in the Bank briefcase during the pandemic era, right? And they took the briefcase off him when they realized their mistake, basically. Are you still behind Otis? Do you still support him? Do you feel like he should have been the Money in the Bank holder, and should have gone on to cash it in? Do you feel like it was a missed opportunity to take the briefcase away from him? Let me know. So it's going to be Finn Balor. We're getting a commercial right now. It's Finn Balor, Kevin Owens, Rey Mysterio, and Seth Rollins in a fatal four-way ladder match later tonight. And that match, the winner of that match, earns a WWE Championship opportunity. That match is expected to be the main event of the night. Let's see how that goes. Where's Priest being? Good question. I guess he will be back when Bad Bunny is back for another program with the WWE, right? Because that's when he really gained relevancy, and then he enjoyed relevancy for a bit more time, and then he started to fade away. So let's see. Let's see what brings him back. But Priest, by the way, is such a talented performer. I enjoy watching him in the ring every time he's there. So I do hope that he comes back sooner or later.
Change of scenery can do wonders for a superstar's career. I feel that may be the case for Otis and Chad Gable, the Alpha Academy. I don't know which crown Gable instilled on Friday Night SmackDown to learn this version of Otis, but Gable's got a fucking ball in his hands.
It's hard for me to get behind this team, the Alpha Academy. I mean, it's really hard for me. Chad Gable, I feel bad for this poor guy, poor lad. He's tried so many things. He's tried a solo run. He's tried tag teams. He's once again trying his run with Otis. I just don't get it. And Otis, by the way, I can't get behind him. It was still one thing with the beard. Now without the beard, it's even weirder. So it's hard for me to get behind Otis and Alpha Academy. Really hard. Alright, and if you're watching this for the first time, make sure to hit the subscribe button and be a part of our Wrestling News family as we do watch-alongs for every single wrestling show out there every single day of the week. So tonight we will also be hearing from Becky Lynch, the new Raw Women's Champion. She exchanged her SmackDown title with Charlotte Flair this past week's Friday's SmackDown, and it was I said it earlier. I found it similar to like a Pokemon exchange. Back in the day when you used to touch Pokemon. I'm pretty sure you guys did too at some point. They used to sometimes the Poke trainers used to exchange their Pokeball. If their Pokemon was not working out for them, or somebody else's Pokemon was working with them better, they used to exchange their Pokeballs, and that was it. Nice and friendly Pokeball exchange, and that's what last Friday's title exchange looked like. But thanks to Charlotte, it was a bit more interesting than that. But still, it was still a lame title exchange. It's a wrestling show. It's not Pokemon. It shouldn't be so friendly as they tried for it to be. But thanks God for Charlotte Flair to adding more spice to it, more wrestling to it. Respect Charlotte Flair for that. Alright, so Honesty Check says Gable needs a gimmick change. New Age angle, not gonna cut it. He could be decent with a gimmick change. He could be. But at this point, he's tried it so many times, I'm just getting tired, I'm really getting tired. So let's see. I mean, Gable for me is basically the same as Dolph Ziggler. Dolph Ziggler's tried so many things, but he just stays the same old Ziggler. He can't cross the glass ceiling. I mean, Dolph Ziggler right now, in my eyes, is still like a veteran. He's still sort of like a legend when it comes to the WWE. He's been doing this for so long, So I respect Dolph Ziggler, but for Gable, I feel like there is a glass ceiling for him, which just slowly with time starts turning into something like a cemented ceiling, a ceiling that will be impossible for Gable to cross in some time. So let's see. Hopefully he's able to break the glass and cross that ceiling, but the longer he takes, the more the glass is going to turn into cement, and the more harder it's going to be for him to cross the ceiling. But let's see. So far, it's been terribly hard for me to get behind Chad Gable. And thank you guys for tuning in. And this is our Monday Night Raw live watch along. We're watching the season premiere of Monday Night Raw. And we're back to commercial. We were just on commercial and we are back to commercial. Classic WWE. I mean, we see this every time with their shows. But I guess that's okay because you know you're watching a popular show, a hip show, a show that people want to watch if you get a lot of commercials, right? So you know you're in the right place, unlike some other show that uses picture in picture. I'm joking. I'm joking. I love AEW. I'm joking. Picture in picture is great. It's great. So Monday, when Monday comes up, you know we do watch alongs every single day. So when Monday comes up, I'm excited, I'm ready to go, Monday Night Raw. But then Tuesday comes up and we have NXT 2.0 and I have mixed feelings because there are two things that NXT can do. It can be either really very surprisingly good or it can be really very, very, very extremely painfully, terribly, torturally bad. And that's why I'm always afraid when I'm doing a watch along for NXT 2.0 because it can be either really good or really very bad. Well, let's see. Let's see how this is going to be tomorrow. Let's see. In Ziggler defense, his persona and wrestling is perfect. I agree, absolutely. He could have had multiple title runs. Yep. He gets put in bad angles and piss people off. Exactly. All the time. Every single time. I mean, I remember Survivor Series, back when this Sting debuted for the WWE, back then as well, Ziggler was red hot. He was doing incredible. He picked up the win for Team Cena. He was just great. But then he keeps losing his momentum due to bad booking. It's not his fault, but the fault of the creative. But I just don't understand why do they keep booking him the same way. But Dolph Ziggler is just one of those wrestlers. Randy Orton is one of those wrestlers who love the WWE and who love the comfort that WWE provides to them, right? I mean, your life is set, your job is secure, you're getting stable financial income. When you are employed by the WWE, you are getting that security, right? And that's the kind of security Daniel Bryan, Bryan Danielson did not care about. That's the kind of security Adam Cole did not care about. They decided to pursue their love for professional wrestling, jump ship, and go to AEW to entertain the fans better and to get better wrestling. And I feel like Dolph Ziggler, the reason why I'm tired of him is because we all know how great of a wrestler he is. We all know how beautiful he can be on the microphone. But he still decides to stay with the WWE even after years of bad booking. And that's because he loves the job security that he gets with the WWE. I understand that. But still, I just feel bad because talented wrestler, incredible entertainer, but still chooses, financial or job security over his love for wrestling. And that's why it just doesn't work for me. Hello, thank you for tuning in. All right, so the match is still underway, and Bobby Roode, Robert Roode, I don't know what you want me to call him, but Roode has been kicked out of the ring. And it looks like we're gonna get somewhat of a hot tag right now. I don't think he's gonna be able to make it. Yeah, I was right. Dolph Ziggler tagged himself in, and now he stops the hot tag from actually taking place. Nope, it's not gonna take place just yet. I would love for Ziggler to pick up the win tonight and win, by the way. I would love for it to happen. Let's see. Alright, Angelo is really on his heels right now. He wants to tag himself in. He wants to be able to help Ziggler. And, wow, look at Otis. Dirty work from Dirty Dirty Otis right there. Shoulder first into the ring post. Otis, I think he's out for an extended period, and that's why Chad Gable tags himself in, stops Montez Ford from making the hot tag to his partner. Montez Ford kicks him away, tags in Angelo Dawkins. Angelo is in the ring now with the punches to Chad Gable, and Chad Gable trying to gain momentum. But Angelo Dawkins is just way too strong. Yep, they're feeling the effects of this one. Robert Roode, Bobby Roode, whoever it is not able to keep up. Chad Gable's not able to keep up. Dolph Ziggler is not able to keep up. Angelo, way too hard to be controlled right now. Way too hard to be contained. Definitely. Braun Breaker is definitely winning tomorrow. You know it, right? I mean, WWE's so high on him. There's no way he's losing. No way. Definitely winning. In my eyes, he's already a winner. Yeah, tomorrow is the Halloween Havoc edition of NXT. It's supposed to be a good one. Let's see. And I think it will deliver, but let's see. This is the first special that we're getting under the NXT 2.0 banner. So definitely, has been truth. Let's see how it all turns out. Tomorrow, Tuesday night at NXT Halloween Havoc. And Chad Gable has been tossed out of the ring. Yep, Montez Ford with the kick to the chest of Otis. And Robert Roode with the kick. Okay. Okay, Montez Ford keeping his eyes on Otis. Now Roode and Angelo alone in the ring. Angelo with the spine buster. Is he gonna cover him? Okay, he's not going for the tag. He wants to tag his partner Ford inside. He's reaching out for the tag. And before he could, we have Otis here who's coming out to the ring. And he attacks. He attacks Montez Ford. And Angelo Dawkins, which only means, you know what's gonna happen. Ziggler and Roode are gonna pick up the win, just like Honesty Check said. That's what you said, right? And that's what's happening. Ziggler and Roode have actually picked up the win. And they're going to be facing Otis and AJ Styles for the WWE RAW Tag Team Championships. And in my eyes there, it was no better competitor. I'm sorry, they're going to be facing Matt Riddle and Randy Orton. I totally forgot of what happened at Crown Jewel. So, yeah, they're going to be facing Matt and Randy for the Raw Tag Team Championships in the future. We don't know when, but they're going to be facing them. Let's see what happens. But in my eyes, there could have been no better wrestler, no better tag team to win it out of these three, because these three talented, super talented, Roode deserves a title around his waist for all that he's done. Ziggler definitely deserves a title, great wrestler. So it will be an interesting match. It will be a very interesting match, and I could actually see Randy dropping the title, even now to these people. I think it's possible. And Nicole says no. Okay, Honesty Check says yes, and Nicole says no. Nicole, you're not happy with the outcome of this match. And now we're getting some photographs from last Thursday. Zelina Vega is the new queen of the ring. She won the queen's crown at Crown Jewel in Saudi Arabia, and it seems like tonight is going to be the coronation of Queen Zelina tonight. And it's funny because I kept saying that Charlotte Flair is the true queen. Charlotte Flair is the queen of the WWE, and I thought that WWE would also pick it up. Would also do something about that angle that we already have a queen in the WWE, that is Charlotte Flair. But it seems like that's not going to be happening because Charlotte Flair is apparently getting on the bad side of the WWE executives and talent, and people don't want to work with her. I don't know, there's this report that's going on by PW Torch and a few other wrestling outlets out there regarding Charlotte Flair and her bad behavior. I don't buy it, the reports. I don't buy the fact that Charlotte Flair is behaving badly, because I've had the pleasure of interacting with Charlotte Flair one-on-one. I've had the pleasure of interviewing her one-on-one, and she has been a class act throughout the years. She's been great. So for her to behave badly or to badmouth Becky Lynch over a choreographed, a scripted angle, a scripted segment, would make no sense to me. I feel like, if anything, this is a build-up to Survivor Series and nothing else. I'm not buying the reports of Charlotte Flair being on the bad side of the WWE executives. I think she's way too smart for something like that to be happening. It would be extremely foolish for her to actually get on their bad side at this point, especially in their career. I'm just getting a comment here from Instagram saying it's a big flex for Vince. And the big flex for Vince is the fact that this past Saturday night, SmackDown's replay episode went head to head with AEW Dynamite's live episode. And guess what? SmackDown's replay episode gained more viewers than AEW's live Saturday Night Dynamite did. About 60,000 more viewers than AEW did. I mean, that speaks volumes. More people are interested in watching the replay of SmackDown than a live show of AEW, which is sad. With all the money that Tony Khan has put into the company, bringing back CM Punk, which was mission impossible for all these years, bringing Bryan Danielson, bringing Adam Cole. I mean, he's put in a lot of money. And still, after all of this, this past Saturday, they were barely able to get, 520,000. They were about 515,000 viewers this past Saturday. WWE's SmackDown replay had about 575,000, so 60,000 more clearly, which is bad for AEW. I mean, what does AEW have to do? Who do they have to bring in next to really elevate their ratings? Of course, they can go on and brag about the key demo, that they have more viewers in the 18 to 45 age category. They can brag about it all they want, but at the end of the day, they have more viewers, total viewers. WWE definitely are outnumbering AEW when it comes to the total number of viewers, and that's what matters at the end of the day. You're not selling 18 to something to your investors or your shareholders. You're selling the whole overall number, and you're losing to that. When we talk about the Monday Night Wars, when we talk about WCW or WWE, we don't talk about the key demo. I don't know where the key demo came into picture. We talk about the overall numbers, overall ratings, and the key demo is a pathetic excuse for winning the war. It's a pathetic excuse. You're not winning the war. You are trying to win it so bad, or desperately make it look like you're winning so bad that you just do anything. You bring up any reason or excuse. It just doesn't work.
The first official queen in WWE, Queen Zelina.
And the ring announcer actually introduced her as the first official queen in the WWE. I took that as a shot at Charlotte Flair, actually, because we all know that there has been only one queen in the WWE, and that is Charlotte Flair. So to be introduced, Zelina to be introduced as the first official queen definitely sounds like a bit of a dig. And that throne, by the way, way too big for Zelina Vega, ain't it? Let's see. Oh, Zelina is angry. She's offended.
Yeah, you. How dare you introduce me like that, Mike Rome?
Alright,
I'm not just some superstar.
She's unhappy with Mike Rome because of the introduction that he gave to her.
Crown tournament winner.
She wants to be introduced better. Okay.
So try it again with some actual bravado. Like we rehearsed.
AEW is fantastic right now.
Please welcome Your Majesty, your one and only official queen of WWE, Queen Zelina.
Okay, cheesy, but I guess that works. That's what you do when you have nothing to talk about. You take a dig at the announcer, right? Fine. AEW is fantastic right now, but I feel they feel WCW started in 1997, and like WCW, how many people can go there and get paid until the bank breaks? I absolutely agree with you. The fact that they were not able to bring up the ratings even after CM Punk, Sting, Bryan Danielson, Adam Cole. I mean, they did everything, but still haven't been able to bring it up. Bray Wyatt is rumored to appear at Full Gear. Let's see what happens. But even if Bray Wyatt appears, I'm not being a hater. I love AEW. I love their wrestling. But even if Bray Wyatt appears, I don't see the ratings going up much higher. So I'm concerned. Let's see what happens, though. Let's see what happens. Zelina needs a manager, in my opinion. Could be. Actually, it wouldn't hurt for her to get a manager. But the fact that she is the queen right now, for her to get any man, especially a lady manager, I think would be like sharing the spotlight with somebody else. So if she really needs a manager, it should be a male manager, not a female manager, because that would be, stealing the spotlight. So she definitely just needs a male manager. But she's the queen, so maybe she will not have a manager at all. She can do it all by herself. She's the queen. So let's see. Let's see.
The answer is simple. All of the above. Because if you are not the most powerful woman in the room, then you are nothing. And Dewdrop is a perfect example of what happens when you stand in my way.
Okay.
Once I defeat her again, of course. I will tell you right now that this crown is proof that I am the best of the best. You will all talk about my reign for years.
Yep, that's what I read. When I read your comment that Rhea and Becky would be a great feud, I smirked because I did agree with you, but I thought that it would have been better a couple years ago when Rhea was still red hot. But they've ruined her, You can't even compare the Rhea that we're having right now to the Rhea that we had at WrestleMania 36 who fought Charlotte Flair. You can't compete even this Rhea to the Rhea that fought at WrestleMania 37. I mean, this Rhea is just terrible. She's more like a cartoon character than anything. And we have a lot of, happy-go-lucky cartoon character-like female stars in the WWE right now. Dewdrop is one such example. Rhea Ripley, Nikki ASH. Are they even trying to make Liv Morgan one of them? Because look at Liv Morgan, by the way. Beautiful, beautiful lady, great wrestler. But look at the way they plaster makeup on her, right? Just highlighting her eyes and whatnot. It just looks like they want to push her as one of the characters. Doesn't really want to push her as a wrestler, but a character. And that's what I don't like. And interesting, guys, by the way, I just said that Dewdrop is like one of those cartoon characters in the WWE right now. And just like I said that, she made her entrance, and just as she entered the ring, they cut to commercial. Does that not mean that they're not really behind Dewdrop? That they don't mind having her promo or her segment, just run over a commercial? It does seem like it. It does seem like it. That's the only reason why you would cut somebody's entrance like that and switch to commercial just so abruptly. And that's what happened. So Dewdrop is just, I don't know. But Zelina Vega's promo right tonight as the queen, I feel like it was less than impressive. Because as the queen, you should have something more to say. As the queen, you should be having some, your gestures, the way you move, the way you talk should be oozing some kind of royalty. But I feel like tonight when we saw Zelina Vega address the fans, I did not see any royalty. I just saw Zelina Vega in a robe and a crown trying to be a queen. That's it. That's all that I saw. I did not see any form of royalty in Zelina Vega. Before she was the queen, she used to do this, royal kind of like stereotypical royal wave, and I appreciated a bit of cringy royalty that I saw from her. But right now, what I was seeing is she did not even do that wave tonight. She did not seem like a royal at all. So that is something that she needs to work on. Her etiquette, the way she talks, all of that stuff, if she really wants to be a memorable first ever queen of the WWE. Because we already have a queen, in my opinion. That's Charlotte Flair, and she looks more like a royal, and she talks, walks, acts like more of a royal than Zelina Vega has been so far. So Zelina needs to up her game when it comes to the character of the queen. And for those of you who are tuning in right now for the first time ever, we are Wrestling News, the #1 wrestling news source on Instagram, and we are finally here on YouTube. We've been doing this for about a month. We do wrestling news, we do daily wrestling watch-alongs and review shows. So we cover every single wrestling show on the planet, every single show that comes on TV every single day of the week. So don't forget to hit the subscribe button and stay connected with us as we go live every single week, every single day of the week. And back to commercials is way too long. And how long have we been doing this? We've been doing this for about 45 minutes. And there are shows that you can sit through for hours, right? I mean, you just look at Crown Jewel that we had this past Thursday, a 4-hour show, for God's sake. It did not feel like 2 hours long. It felt like it just went by so quickly. It just felt so quick and so entertaining. And, it did not even have commercials. It was 4 hours of straight WWE programming, no commercials whatsoever. And I'm seeing Raw tonight. It's only been 45 minutes, and it's been hard. I felt like it had been about 1.5 hours or so, but it's just been 45 minutes, which means we still have 2 hours and 15 minutes long of programming left. And just the thought of that makes me feel fatigued, because the show has been fine, but it hasn't been spectacular. And with the commercials that we get, I'm not looking forward. Let's see. Hopefully they'll be able to change my mind. But so far, it's been slow and just average. Nothing out of the ordinary. There's obvious demographic personal image they're promoting with Doudrop. I agree. Some with ASH and most of the women's wrestlers seems like they're trying to reach the self-esteem of viewers. Not saying it's a bad PR thing, but it's wrestling cringe. I absolutely agree. Spider David is here. I love that profile picture, by the way. Hello to you, sir. Good to see you. I love that profile picture. But if you want to talk about Spider-Man with me, I'm a big Spider-Man fan. Literally got a PlayStation 5 for the Spider-Man game, I must say. I love Spider-Man. But even though that outfit and your profile picture looks super cool, there is no Spidey outfit better than the Raimi outfit, than the web suit that we saw in the original Spider-Man featuring Tobey Maguire. So there's no Spidey suit better than that one, I can tell you that. By the way, going back to the comment by Honesty Check, I absolutely agree with every single word that you've written down here. It is definitely a PR thing. It's definitely something that they're trying to relay to their audience. And I love what Doudrop is doing, by the way. Doudrop, when she came in, she was actually bullied by the fans for her, the shape of her body, for being a plus-size wrestler. She was bullied really bad, all right? And I did not like it. That's the one reason why I don't like social media, because it can be such a toxic place. But, Doudrop, just not caring about the haters, just rising above them, being on WWE television every single day of, every single Monday at least, and every single week she's been fighting these tremendous wrestlers, going head to head with them, doing the best that she can. She definitely puts a good example out there. I mean, look at all the young viewers who could be watching. She gets defeated again, by the way. Doudrop gets defeated again in a bad fashion, but she gets defeated. Okay, so Doudrop, what I was saying was that, there are a lot of young WWE wrestlers out there who go to school, who go to college, fans of all of the, I'm talking about the fans of this wrestling, the fans who go to schools and college, fans who are of all ages, of all shapes and sizes, and they do get bullied as well. So for them to have somebody like Doudrop, a plus-size wrestler, for them to have somebody to look up to, like Doudrop, set a good example for them, not just for them, but also for the other kids in their school. It's good. It's great, It definitely sends out a message that you can be of any shape or size, and you can still be great, you can still be beautiful, you can still be talented and strong. And that's what I love, that what they're doing with Doudrop. They're sending out a very good message with Doudrop. But I just hope that they book her well. With Nikki ASH, I liked it. I liked what she was doing as well. I've always said this. that growing up, when I was not a wrestling fan growing up, I used to look at heroes like Superman and Spider-Man and Batman, and I used to look up to them. And it kind of broke my heart when I realized that these are not actual real heroes. These are just fictional characters. A bit of me, just got very, very sad when I came to know about it as a kid. So I've always said it, that these wrestlers are like superheroes, but in real life. And that's the beauty of wrestling. That's why I love when kids actually tune in and they look up to these wrestlers and they're able to meet these wrestlers because these are like real life heroes to them, right? And that's the incredible beauty of professional wrestling. But with Nikki ASH, what they were doing, I was loving it. Nikki ASH, she was loving it herself. But now that they added Rhea Ripley into the mix, I don't like it because Rhea Ripley herself was such a badass character. When I interviewed Rhea Ripley, a lot of fans messaged me. They were like, next time you interview Rhea, ask her, is she a heel or is she a face? What exactly is she? She's such a mysterious character, such a anticlimactic face, such a good heel. It was just, you didn't get it. You loved her, you cheered for her. No matter if she was a heel or a face, you still cheered for her. And that's the incredible job that Rhea did. Now that they have made her into a cartoon character to appeal to such one demographic, I don't know if they're trying to appeal to the gothic fans or something, but I don't get it, and I'm not a fan of it. Absolutely not. Hate it. And just like Honesty Check said, it's wrestling cringe. Absolutely. Spider David said, I changed it because I'm a Spider-Man fan, but my name is after Spider David to say Spider David, Tate Jr. Are you a basketball fan? So I asked a wrestler when I was interviewing him not too long ago. I think it was about 2 weeks ago. I asked him, because he was from England. So I asked him, are you a cricket fan? And he said that, people don't like this answer. But I tell them that I'm not a fan of any sport. I'm just a fan of sports entertainment, and that's why I'm in this industry. And I can give you the same answer. I'm not very big into any sport whatsoever. I'm just big into sports entertainment. That's my absolute love. Good to see you. Thanks for tuning in. Who do you think will win the Fatal 4-Way? Interesting question. We've got some very tough competitors: Seth Rollins, Kevin Owens, Rey Mysterio, Finn Balor. Seth Rollins to win is very, very likely. I could see it happening. Rey Mysterio, what a joke. No. Can you imagine a feud between Rey Mysterio and Big E? It would be bad, really bad. So no. Finn Balor versus Big E would make little sense to me. So I'm putting my money either on Seth Rollins. Oh, Becky Lynch, by the way, looking just great. Yeah, she looks fantastic. So I'm either putting my money either on Seth Rollins or Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens could win. I feel like it's a possibility. But if I could really give any percentage, I would give a 50.1% to Seth Rollins and a 49.9% to Kevin Owens. So close enough, but I feel like it will be Seth Rollins, but it could also be Kevin Owens. Rey Mysterio and Finn Balor do not stand a chance for me. Yeah, Honesty Check definitely agrees with me. Yeah, great wrestling minds think alike, Oh, dude, I gotta tell you something. You told me the recommendation on the new iconic theme song. It was awesome. It was, yep. Oh, and speaking of the theme song, this is what I think of it. Bullseye, those girls nailed, buddy. Absolutely. Did you see that Tron, the Tron that they had going for the Iconics when they made their entrance at Bound for Glory? It was beautiful. It was one of the great stuff that I've seen. Incredible. Oh, dude, I have to tell you some terrible news. Uh-oh, I'm not ready for it. But okay. Peyton started an OnlyFans. It's terrible, and not only that she's married to Sean Spears is going to be pissed. So I did see some kind of a link that she posted on her social media, and at first I thought, was it an OnlyFans? But then I saw the website and something like access to Cassie or something. So I thought that, okay, like maybe this is some kind of an exclusive content, but not like an OnlyFans. But now that you're telling me that it is an OnlyFans, it's shocking. And I can already imagine a lot of people actually paying for that kind of content from Peyton. But it's actually surprising, because she is such a talented performer, gifted wrestler, wrestler who is loved from all across the world. So for her to start an OnlyFans so early in her career when she still has a bright career ahead of her, she just got hired by Impact Wrestling. It's weird, but I guess that whatever makes her happy, right? Seth Rollins deserves the shot. Yep, he does. And Seth Rollins versus Big E would make for a very memorable feud too, right? So it would be interesting. I'd be behind that feud definitely. I think that's terrible. It could ruin a marriage in a second. Yeah, but to think about it, maybe she has Sean's blessing. Maybe she did ask him for it. Tell him about it. We don't know the whole story, but it's definitely shocking, man. Definitely shocking. Cancel OnlyFans. I know you're hurt by the news of her starting an OnlyFans, but apparently a lot of people are earning a living through that website. So can't really ask for it to be canceled, I guess, but it is definitely bad. And if I don't, I mean, I don't consume such products, and I, don't encourage people to tune into such products either. They could be bad for somebody's mind. It's not very healthy to be consuming such products, but it is for what it is. Everybody for himself, I guess. Whatever appeals to somebody. Yep. Big E versus King Woods for the WWE title. They dropped the ball. They had the opportunity to do Kofi Kingston versus Xavier Woods. For the King of the Ring, they dropped the ball. They did not do it, so I don't think they're gonna do it right now. Not so soon. KO heel turns saying he's had enough and challenging Priest for the US title would be sweet. Yeah, it would be definitely. But KO in a mid-card title, I really want him to be carrying the WWE title. He looked amazing with the Universal title. So I'd love for him to carry the main roster, the main title as well. Yeah, I agree. I see. Thank you so much, Film Nation. You're incredible. Thank you for the kind words. And don't just hit the like, guys. Also hit the subscribe button because you know where to watch wrestling, with whom to watch wrestling every single day of the week. It's with me, your one and only AJ, aka Wrassingh of Wrestling News. And we have Becky Lynch, who's in the middle of the ring with the mic in hand. Let's see if she's able to spit any facts tonight.
But I've been making headlines ever since. And last week was no different. In a history-making, groundbreaking, earth-shaking triple threat match, I overcame insurmountable odds.
Okay, so Becky Lynch is here. She says that she's been making headlines all this while. She says that, she made history this past Thursday at Crown Jewel in the triple threat match for the title.
I know. You don't want to see Bianca Belair anywhere near this title. No.
She's mentioning Bianca Belair, and I would say Bianca Belair has been ranked number 1 out of 500 top female wrestlers in the world. So Bianca Belair has actually scored number 1 by PWI, that's Pro Wrestling Insiders. I don't agree with that. I don't think that she's the number 1 wrestler in the world right now, but there are people who apparently do. So good for her. Good for Bianca Belair, and congratulations, I guess, to Bianca Belair. And of course, she was talking trash about Bianca Belair, and out comes Bianca Belair, and I cannot stand her entrance, the way she whips her hair, and especially before she's about to enter the ring, she spats herself. Whatever she does is just hard to watch, and she's gonna be doing all of that tonight, it seems. The one thing I don't like about Bianca is she's like the female version of Big E, as champion. I understand Big E doing whatever he did without the championship, but now that he's champion, he shouldn't be so crazy, happy-go-lucky all the time. And that's what we see with Bianca Belair as well. Even if she's in the most terrible, most vicious time possible, most vicious feud, she's still so happy, she's still dancing, smiling, so cheerful. I mean, it doesn't work that way in real life, right? So if you're trying to convey some real life emotions through wrestling or through these segments and promos, add some realism to it, especially with the case of Bianca Belair, because there's not one bit of realism when it comes to her. So there's definitely some work that's need to be done.
And Becky, you only think you get what you want because you really haven't faced any adversity. I mean, besides SummerSlam, you have found every single way to slip away from being who we get in this ring. But all of that's about to change. You see, because
Yep, that's it. That's it. And Bianca especially. I mean, look at her. She's cutting a promo with somebody who's supposed to be her enemy, and she's still gonna be dancing and smiling. Look at her. Look at her move while she's cutting that promo. It's just uncomfortable to watch. Do you want us to take you seriously or not? Because with such an attitude and body language, I cannot take anybody seriously, not for a second. So it's definitely hard for me to get behind Bianca Belair as a serious competitor.
There is one thing that you were right about, and that's the new face of Raw has arrived tonight, and that new face is no one other than the EST of WWE.
I don't get it. Look at her. Look at her holding her tail again. It just doesn't make any sense.
Well, Esther, I thought you might have something to say about being the face of WWE, so I prepared a little something, if you will.
I guess we're not gonna cut to a video package. Okay, it is a photograph from this past Thursday at Crown Jewel. Becky Lynch holding up the SmackDown Women's Championship.
Your face after losing at Crown Jewel. Oh, very sad face, grumpy face. No, that's not the face of Monday Night Raw. That's the face of a loser. You want to talk to me about not facing adversity? You want to talk to me about not facing adversity? I faced it, overcame it, slapped the head off, and you become a hero to these people. You, on the other hand, have had
This promo is interesting because when Becky Lynch actually came back at SummerSlam, she came back to be a heel. And, she was laughing about it during one interview, a recent interview, where she said that, yeah, I'm a heel, but it's hard for me to actually get people to boo me. So I try, but it's hard. So right now when I'm listening to this promo first, she's talking about how she has faced adversity to be a hero for these people, for the fans. And it seems like she's trying to be a face once again. So I guess people in the WWE realize that no matter what you do, it's hard to get people to boo Becky, so might just as well make her a face, I guess. Well, let's see. But this promo does scream baby face. Maybe 60 minutes of wrestling so far, maybe. I guess that's good, right? Considering we had 20 minutes of wrestling at SmackDown last Friday. So I guess that's good. But yeah. And can you believe it? It's just been an hour and 2 minutes into the show. We still have 2 more hours to go. And the show, I don't know if it's just me, but it just seems very, very slow. Very dragged out tonight. Just like I said earlier, Crown Jewel was so fast, no commercial whatsoever. It just flew by. Tonight's Raw, even though it's not been the worst Raw, but it's been very slow, and it's just been an hour. We still have 2 more hours, so definitely challenging. But the good thing about it is the interaction that we have, right? I love interacting with you guys, Honesty Check, Film Nation, everybody who tunes in, new faces that tune in. I love the interaction, and that's what I really appreciate about all these watch-alongs that we do. And guys, if you're watching this right now, make sure to share this stream with your friends and have them subscribe to our channel too. Every single subscriber counts. We have a goal of 1,000 subscribers, and we want to hit that goal before we enter 2022. So help us achieve that goal. Help us get to 1K before we welcome the new year. So we can only do it with your support. Help us get to that goal. Thank you.
Well, look at my face. It says get to the back of the line, bitch.
Okay, so name dropping. Becky Lynch just called her the B word. I'm not gonna say the word, but she just called Bianca the B word, and I guess that makes the content a bit edgy. I guess that's what make people pop for some reason. Whenever they hears a wrestler curse on a PG show, people pop. So I guess that's acceptable. But if I was, I don't know. I don't want to be sounding. I don't want to sound very like like a Karen. I don't want to sound very conservative or butthurt, as people like to call it, right? But if I was a parent and if I had my child watching the show right now, and all of a sudden in a PG show, a wrestler name drops somebody or uses a curse word against somebody, and my child hears it, I would not like that a lot, because the child could pick up the words. So I'm not a very big fan of the name dropping, since that's one of the reasons I never curse on these shows, on the watch-alongs, because you never know who's watching, and you don't want to leave any bad impression on anybody, right? So yeah, that's the reason why I don't curse, and I don't really appreciate curses on live TV, especially PG shows. Gotta love the kendo stick, by the way. Gotta love that. A kendo stick's been one of my favorite weapons. I remember doing the Extreme Rules matches back in WWE SmackDown vs. Raw 2008, 2009, SVR games. Kendo stick's been always my favorite weapon on WWE's video games as well as TV. It's just great. It hits hard. It's snappy. It sounds great. So kendo stick definitely my favorite weapon. Who thought Bianca would wield a cane 3 minutes ago? Nobody. Nobody. And I'm pretty sure. Look at her. She's probably going to be dancing once again in like a few seconds. Just watch. So they played Becky Lynch's theme music, so maybe she's not going to dance now. Yeah, definitely not. Thank God for the production team to be playing Becky Lynch's music, so Bianca Belair can dance. Okay, good. We did not see her dancing. That's good. It was a weird promo, weird segment. And just like I said, we are just 1 hour into the show. We've still got 2 more hours left. But the good thing about this show, what's coming up, is that we have the Raw Tag Team Championship match taking place tonight. It's going to be Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode versus Matt Riddle and Randy Orton, RK Bro. It's going to be for the Raw Tag Team Championships, and it's going to be taking place tonight. And the main event of the night is going to be a fatal four-way ladder match to determine the number one contender for the WWE Championship. And this fatal four-way match is going to be between Kevin Owens, Seth Rollins, Rey Mysterio, and Finn Balor. Whoever wins faces Big E for the WWE Championship in the future. When is the future? We don't know, but in the future. And Finn Balor getting ready. I would love for that to happen. I have found RK Bro very cringe. I love Randy Orton. I'm not a fan of Matt Riddle. So I would love for that to happen, definitely.
WWE that I respect as much as you. But look, man, I'm sorry. I have to win this tonight. I have to. So when we're out there, it's every man for himself. I need to win this.
Oh, aren't these people so nice? Like early on, during the show, when the show started, Finn Balor was like, I love you, Rey Mysterio. You know I respect you so much, but I have to win this. And Kevin Owens, being the nice guy he is, he goes to Finn Balor, he says, I love you, you're great, but I have to win this. Okay. Again, it's a wrestling show, it's not Pokemon. We don't always have to be so nice, but I guess they have to be nice. Fine. Actually, that would be better. We've seen, how many times have we seen heel Randy Orton? A lot of times, right? So maybe a heel Matt Riddle brings something good out of him, and changes his character, brings some much needed change to his character, and does something good to RK Bro. Let's see. And by the way, you asked about Damian Priest, and there he is. Damian Priest is actually making his way to the ring right now with the United States Championship around his waist. Call me old school, call me whatever. I love the new U.S. title. I love the look of it. It looks great. It looks solid. But I love the nostalgia that the old U.S. title used to bring with it. I still remember the days when Sheamus used to hold it. I still remember the good old days when The Miz used to hold it, when Dolph Ziggler held it. That little U.S. title. It seemed sweet. I really miss the old U.S. title design, and I miss the old, maybe the white colored Intercontinental Championship design. I mean, those two title belts were great. They defined an early part of me as a wrestling fan. I started watching wrestling actually in 2008, so around WrestleMania 25. So that's when I first fell in love with wrestling, and I grew up with the U.S. title belt, that one, the old one, and the white Intercontinental title. So for them to go away suddenly, and to be replaced with the new ones, it feels weird. But yeah, it is what it is, I guess. And now we're getting a commercial for tomorrow's Halloween Havoc NXT 2.0. Should be a very good match. They've got the spinner wheel, which will be determining the stipulations, apparently. And this is going to be live. It's going to be taking place tomorrow. NXT 2.0 Halloween Havoc special. Live at 8 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. Okay, and now we are back to commercial. And it's been an interesting show. A lot of commercials, a lot of stuff, I guess. But it is what it is, right? And if you guys are tuning in for the first time, if you have just discovered our YouTube page, so we are Wrestling News, the number one wrestling news source of Instagram, now on YouTube. So since you've already landed on YouTube, make sure to check out all the content that we offer. We offer everything from exclusive interview with stars like, your favorite Charlotte Flair, Bobby Lashley, Edge, Drew McIntyre, Maria Kanellis. We've interviewed them all. Our channel features exclusive interviews, reviews for the shows with KJ White, watch-alongs with myself. We also have, shows with our other correspondent, William. We're going to be soon debuting new series on this YouTube channel. So make sure to hit the subscribe button because we've got a lot more content for you coming your way in the near future. All these commercials, they're just way too long, aren't they? And tomorrow, by the way, happens to be a Tuesday. And you know what happens on Tuesday, don't you? Of course you do. Every single Tuesday, we release a brand new episode of a show that I host myself and I'm very, very proud of. It's the Wrassing Show. The Wrassing Show debuts its new episode every single Tuesday right here on our YouTube channel. And every single episode of the Wrassing Show features an exclusive interview with a wrestler that you know about, and that you know you love and you want to know more about. Tomorrow's interview on the Wrassing Show actually features an interview with the first ever wrestler who appeared both on WWE RAW and AEW Dynamite on the very same night. So both on WWE as well as AEW programming on the same night, is the first ever wrestler to do it, and we're having her join us on the Wrassing Show tomorrow. So make sure to tune in. And again, we're seeing a commercial from WWE, which is about WrestleMania 38, which is taking place at the AT&T Stadium, and it's going to take place over 2 nights. Once again, it's a 2 night show. I was at WrestleMania 35 live. I was actually invited by the WWE to be there, and I was sitting ringside, and I got a headache sitting there for 6-7 hours straight. I was really exhausted by the end of the night, so I kind of like the 2 night schedule. I like it, and I think it's the better way to do it. It's a very long show, too much for 1 night. 2 nights definitely my thing, definitely better. Okay, so Damian Priest, by the way, we're getting Damian Priest, but we're getting him in a very interesting match against T-Bar. So not the biggest match possible, not the most interesting match possible. Retribution's over. The leader of Retribution, Mustafa Ali, has moved on. I don't understand why Maze and T-Bar are still Maze and T-Bar. I don't know why they've not been given proper names. I don't know why they're still having the same Retribution looks. T-Bar, Maze especially. Maze can go. Maze looks great. He has everything going. He moves great in the ring. He has a good move set, good skill set. He is a very charismatic individual, a great entertainer. Maze should be pushed. Maze's name should be renamed. He should be given a new appearance. And same with T-Bar. I mean, Retribution's over. Give them new look. I mean, if you're really gonna be using these two, understand that Retribution's over. They need to be booked. They need to be booked properly. They need to be presented properly in a new fashion. Creative cannot be so lazy that they give us something from the past and expect to use it in the present. You can't do that. And they have been doing just that. They have been recycling something from the past and actually using them on the main roster shows. This is not 205 Live. This is not where you experiment or get away with things. T-Bar. Yeah, T-Bar is what Damian Priest gets, and it's wrong. It's wrong. T-Bar should not be called T-Bar. He should not be having the same outfit as the Retribution days. He should be booked once again, rebooked, repackaged, but creative has been unable to do so. Sad. It's really sad. T-Bar is good in the ring. He's really good in the ring. And so is Maze. But both of them have not been repackaged. They're still using their old Retribution, attires, Retribution face paint, everything. It makes zero sense. The only reason why it would make sense if these two were actually internally planning to bring back Retribution somehow, but they're not doing that. They don't even acknowledge Retribution anymore. But still, for them to have the same face paint, same attire, same look, same names from Retribution days, it makes no sense whatsoever. No sense. By the way, Tony Nese, former 205 Live superstar Tony, was recently seen on AEW sitting in the audience. Tony is also one of the very few genuine wrestlers in the world who cares about his fans, really good guy at heart. So it will be interesting to see what he does in AEW and if he's able to flourish there, but I'm happy for Tony and finally to see the recognition that he so well deserves. Nicole says, I think Damian Priest is going to win. I agree. Definitely, they're not going to have T-Bar win, right? Because he's T-Bar. T-Bar is not here to win matches. He's just here to put people over, I guess. And it would not make any sense for T-Bar to win, actually. So, yeah, Damian Priest is definitely winning. Absolutely. Disqualification. So, T-Bar actually loses via disqualification. He threw the commentator's chair at Damian Priest, and Damian Priest is getting really very angry and really riled up. I just don't get it. This is wrestling. You throw chairs at each other all the time. So for him to get really excited over the fact that he threw a chair at him, he still won the match, and this chair did not even hit him so hard. But he's getting really riled up. Okay, fine. I agree. Incredibly lazy to keep Retribution look. Pritchard running things around. Yep, he's running things at the ground. Absolutely. I agree. It is lazy. There is no excuse possible for this. you are using Maze and T-Bar. If you were not using it, it would have been understandable that you did not care to repackage them. But since you're using both of them, often on your main show TV, it makes no sense for them to not get proper new looks. Hi, Anthony. Good to see you. Thanks for tuning in. This makes no sense for Priest to do this. Absolutely. Like, we've seen chair shots a number of times. This commentator's chair did not even hit Priest so hard. So for him to get really so excited and angry over this, it just seems weird. I mean, look at the face of Damian Priest right now. He is angry. He is looking to kill. He looks really angry. For what, though? For what? This is a wrestling show. You're out here to hurt other people and to get hurt yourself. So for you to get so angry because somebody else did their job makes no sense. This was not for the title. You did not lose the championship. You lost nothing. The only thing that happened was that you won via disqualification. You can go home sooner because the match ended sooner. I guess you should be happy. But you decided to attack him. I guess is Damian Priest turning heel? Is that what's happening here? I don't know, but the way he was wearing the eyeliner, it told a different story. It told a story of a potential heel turn. But let's see. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Honestly, check. It did seem like it. And T-Bar honestly looks like, he looks like a poor baby face these days. Nobody cares about him. Good performer, overlooked by the fans, by the executives, everybody. So I guess T-Bar is the biggest baby face and the biggest underdog that we have seen in a long time, right? So yeah, maybe. Anthony says, when do you see Gable Steveson debuting on Monday Night Raw? So, this year he will be making sporadic appearances, and once he is done with university, he will be appearing full time. Apparently, I find it hard to buy that he'll appear full time, but this year he will be making sporadic appearances. Let's think about it. Actually, I do expect him to show up around Royal Rumble, not before that. A Royal Rumble, I do expect for him to maybe make a guest appearance. I wouldn't be surprised. Could you see Gable Steveson winning the Royal Rumble? I wouldn't be surprised if he actually wins the Royal Rumble, actually. Yeah, you know what? I do see Gable Steveson wrestling at Royal Rumble. I do see him being there in some capacity, maybe entering the Royal Rumble match. I would not be surprised if he goes on to win it. So let's see. But for him to appear, as you asked, I do see it happening at Royal Rumble. A surprise entrance in the Royal Rumble match. I do see it happening. And I'm so glad that Carmella is coming back without the mask. We all saw the social media post, a very hot one, that Carmella and Corey Graves both love to post. It's the picture of both of them making out, a black and white picture. Very cool, very happy for the two of them as they have now been engaged to marry, and good for them. A lot of fans on social media see that they're not very happy. They say, how can you guys actually celebrate? Corey Graves cheated on his wife. He left his wife for this girl. I can't be happy for a home wrecker. I cannot be happy for a man who cheated on his wife. I see a lot of comments like that. I'm not gonna be commenting on anybody's personal life here, but from a wrestling standpoint, happy for our fellow entertainers. That is Corey Graves and Carmella. Happy for them. Are you going to do predictions for Halloween Havoc tomorrow night at NXT? Actually, we do preview shows, but since you say predictions, I'll do predictions as well. So tomorrow you will be seeing a predictions plus preview episode from me here on our YouTube for Wrestling News. So it's going to be a preview predictions video for NXT Halloween Havoc. It's a good idea. Thanks for suggesting it to me. And we're also going to be doing Watchalong for NXT Halloween Havoc tomorrow night, which is going to be live right here. So make sure to tune in. And if you haven't already, make sure to hit the subscribe button because that keeps us going. So hit the subscribe button, tune in tomorrow, let your friends know that we are live. And support us. Thank you so much. And as soon as I go off the air tonight, it's gonna be my buddy, our correspondent KJ, who's gonna be taking over with his breakdown show, where he's gonna be breaking down tonight's Monday Night Raw, and he's going to be reviewing the show for you. So don't go anywhere after the show, as KJ will be taking over and reviewing WWE Raw. And we've been doing this for about an hour and 24 minutes, which means that we have roughly about an hour and 30 minutes more to go on the show. Let's see how it all goes. But so far, the show has just been average for me. It's just been fine for me. I haven't been wholly entertained. Not the best show, in recent times. It's just been an average show. For the season premiere, it's just been an okay show. I understand that they have some good matches, a tag team championship match that we should be excited about, apparently, a main event match, but I feel like it's criminal to make us wait 3 hours to watch that last match of the night, which is apparently the only match that is irrelevant tonight. So, yeah, that it is. So, Anthony says, after the situation that happened last week with Becky and Charlotte, apparently the locker room side with Becky, does this prove the fact that Charlotte might be a cancer in the locker room? And Becky is the leader of women's locker room in WWE, and Charlotte was just typing herself up to something. She isn't calling herself the leader of the locker room. Look, I read all the reports. I came to know about what PW Torch and a few other news sites are saying. I'm not buying these reports at all. I know that fans are buying it. I know we're seeing tweets from Andrade. I know that possibly Charlotte will not even appear on SmackDown this week. Let's see what happens. But I'm seeing all these reports, and I'm not buying any of it. Survivor Series is right around the corner. It would make total sense for Becky and Charlotte to actually enter this match with this nuclear heat from the fans, and fans thinking that this is a real life situation. I don't see it. I have had the opportunity to interact with Charlotte Flair one-on-one, interview her one-on-one, and she's one of the classiest and the most professional wrestlers, and I mean professional wrestlers that I've ever come across. She is a businesswoman. She understands business. She understands how to be respectful. I would be very, very surprised if she does anything unprofessional in the WWE, such as, calling herself the locker room leader or doing whatever she's doing that people are claiming that she's doing. I'm not buying these stories at all. I think that Charlotte is just fine. She's doing a fine job. And whatever the reports that are coming out, I feel like they are only coming out because they want to build up to Survivor Series in this way, in this manner. That's the only thing that I see. Yeah, so I'm not buying into the reports at all. Karrion Kross and Bearcat must be coming soon. Still 1.5 hours left. Yep, Bearcat is also appearing tonight. Don't know about Karrion Kross. I wish that, Scarlett would also appear with Karrion, but it seems like that's not happening tonight. But it's a season premiere. It would be great to see, Scarlett as well, but we'll just have to see. Carmella with the hideous mask that she's wearing, by the way. Hideous is the word. The only person who has ever been pull off a mask gimmick, pull off a cosmetology gimmick where they're so overprotective of their face, is Cody Rhodes. Remember dashing Cody Rhodes? And remember the time when he used to walk into the arena with that plastic mask, just covering his face, wearing the hoodie, making sure nobody sees him like that. I mean, Cody Rhodes really pulled it off excellently. He did an incredible job with it. Dashing Rhodes was great. That overprotective Cody Rhodes was great. He did incredible. But, the likes of Carmella or Sheamus with the mask hasn't worked out, at least not for me. So, there is work for them to do. That's for sure. Liv Morgan, just like I said, a very beautiful, charming, attracting young lady. But the amount of makeup that she wears these days, oh dear, it's just repulsive. it makes me feel like maybe they are also trying to turn her into some of a cartoon character, or for the younger audience to look up to and be like her. It's just weird. It seems unrealistic. It seems weird. Yeah, definitely honesty check. Mankind, whatever he did in his run with the WWE was memorable, was the best. So can't argue with the fact that Mankind with the mask was pure gold. But in recent times, I do feel like Cody Rhodes did the best job possible with the mask. And since we're already on the topic of the mask, I have to say that Dominik Mysterio, I feel like I understand, why he's not wearing a mask, but I feel like he should have been the one to be with the mask. Nicole, thank you for tuning in. I understand that you're tired. This show hasn't been the best, but the interaction has been great. Thanks for tuning in. Have a good night. But yeah, honesty check. I do agree. Mankind with the mask was great, but I feel like Dominik Mysterio should have had a mask too. I mean, keeping his father Ray's legacy going. Also with the baby face, literally the baby face that Dominik has. I feel like the mask would have done wonders for him. Right now, he has a baby face, and I mean like a real life baby face. It's hard for me to take him very, very seriously, or take him as a serious threat for any wrestler that he actually faces in the ring. So I think mask would have done wonders for him. A face like that, when he still looks so young, so premature, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. He doesn't look like a threat at all to me. Not to me. Yeah, mask should have happened. Dominik is great in the ring. He moves like a champion. He's fantastic, but the mask should have happened for sure. Yeah, yeah. That's the only thing that would actually make him relevant at this point. Dominik Mysterio is not relevant. He needs to be relevant, and right now he's not. And a feud with Rey Mysterio would definitely make him relevant. That's for sure. All right, so Bearcat Lee is now clawing his way back to WWE Raw. He's going to be making his appearance tonight. Let's see how it'll be. Fans love Keith Lee. Tonight we're going to be seeing Bearcat Lee. Let's see how entertaining would he be. He's a big man. He's a big guy. The only time I really found him entertaining on the main roster when he came face to face against Brock Lesnar during the Royal Rumble match. But other than that, everything else he's done on the main roster has been not memorable at all. It's been very forgetful. It's been just average. So let's see if Bearcat Lee is able to deliver tonight. If he's able to make a difference tonight, let's see. Yep, this is not a good look. He's wearing black and pink, not the best colors. I'm not sure if he's doing that because it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month. But, again, just like I said, cartoon characters is what they're looking for. They are doing cartoon characters with the women. It seems like they're doing the same with Bearcat as well. The hoodie, the the colors, the glittery stuff that he has in the insides of the hoodie, it's not working out. Not at all. Yeah, very, very creative. And with that kind of a hoodie and that look, it's painful. It's painful to say the least. And speaking of pain, how many damn commercials are we gonna get tonight? There have been too many commercials tonight. It's been a hard show to cover. So many commercials, not as entertaining of a show. It's hard to watch the show, honestly. Not the best show possible. I agree. I agree. They've tried it enough. They've tried Keith Lee. You know, they've tried Bearcat. They're trying Bearcat Lee right now. He goes away. He comes back. He goes away. He comes back. He goes away. He comes back. All the time with new names, new look. It doesn't work. You know, at this point, I think a gimmick called an Uncle Lee or Uncle Keith Lee would work better than Bearcat Lee would. You know, book him as an uncle, book him like an older gentleman who's still, you know, who can still go head to head with the younger generation. I don't know what they're trying to do with Keith Lee, but Bearcat just makes me angry, and I don't know what they're gonna do with him. They have to make him stand out. They have to make him look unique. They have to make him sell. But Bearcat is not the way to do it. I just don't get it. I don't get it. KJ, I envy you so much. You know, I know you're doing review for the show, and that's so much better than doing the watch along for such a dead show. It's hard. It's hard. And with the amount of commercials, for God's sake, so many commercials. And by the way, guys, this week we're covering NXT UK for the first time ever. We've never done that. I myself have never tuned into NXT UK live. Gonna be doing it for the first time ever this week for you guys to do a watch along for NXT UK. Let's see how entertaining this show is. Let's see what the hype is all about when it comes to NXT UK. We're doing a watch along for NXT UK for the first time this week. It'll be on Thursday. You know, I would have actually, as much as I love wrestling, I would have preferred for Lee to cut a promo and to address the fans a little bit. He comes out, he puts, he destroys a jobber. I don't know what it does for me. I don't know what it does for a lot of hardcore fans, because we know what Lee is capable of already. We know his in-ring skills. We know how athletically gifted he is, how powerful he is. We don't need for him to put his, athleticism, on the show. We don't need for him to showcase his in-ring skills. We need for him to provide an explanation for Bearcat, to give us an update, to tell us what to expect from him. I don't want to go to Twitter to hear from Keith Lee. I want to hear from him on Monday Night Raw, because that's where I tune in to get all of my wrestling content and news primarily, right? But okay, look who's here. Cedric Alexander from the Hurt Business. I guess they're just gonna use him as a jobber now, right? So okay, Cedric is going to catering. You're right. Absolutely. Great comments by Honesty Check, by the way. Great comments. All right, Cedric looking to get the easy way out of this one. I mean, when I look at Keith Lee, he looks like $1,000,000. He looks great. He has the looks. He looks strong, powerful. He looks so dominant. It's fantastic. But the way they've booked it is bad, and this match is bad. Everything is bad. They're not even letting Keith Lee put his full moveset on display. They're not letting him show how good, how gifted of a wrestler he is. Just like Honesty Check says, this is rough. It is rough to watch, because we know how good of a wrestler Keith Lee is, and with such a limited match, it's hard. It's hard. It's hard to see it. He's not even able to put on all of his moveset, all of his skills on display for us. He's not able to do that, and that's the slightest of things that he can do, but he's not able to do that tonight. This is the second time when he was going to, squash Cedric in the corner, and Cedric gets out of the way. It's so repetitive, so painful. Just bad booking. They are crazy out of sync. They are. For anybody who's watching Keith Lee for the first time tonight and they watch this match, they're automatically not going to be interested. They're not going to think of Keith Lee as a great wrestler, right? He just stuck out his tongue and did the weird thing as an animal. Did he do that before? I don't know. I don't remember him doing that. But the way he stuck out his tongue and did that thing while he was holding Cedric up on his shoulders, that was cringe and weird, and I felt uncomfortable watching it, which is weird. This was probably announced to both of them 10 minutes ago. I wouldn't be surprised. You know, Mustafa Ali, was told that he was going to be the Retribution leader on the day of the reveal. So the day that we all came to know who the Retribution leader was going to be was the very same day that the Retribution came to know about it and the Retribution leader came to know about it. So they do everything last minute. This match was really bad, very short. In terms of wrestling, tonight's show has been just horrendous, just horrible. Goldberg impression right there. You're right, KJ. Goldberg does it better, though. Keith Lee, I think as Bearcat, they wanted him to be some kind of an animal, and that's why they made him do that. Just bad. Just bad. You're right. Lee versus Shelton next week. Wow, so looking forward. I love the fact, by the way, you gotta respect that fact that they're not only booking storylines long term, but they're also booking squash matches long term, right? So next week we're gonna get a squash match between Shelton and Keith Lee, and what a way to book that match, right? I'm excited. I'm looking forward to. This is probably the only reason why I'm gonna be looking forward to the match, to the show in general. And Dominik and Ray were backstage in the locker room with them.
It's been a minute since I've had a ladder match against 3 opponents. I know. And whoever wins is next in line.
And just like I said,
You got this.
Dominik has such a baby face, you know. I see him and I'm like, oh, did Rey Mysterio bring his son to work? That's what I feel. He looks like a proper baby. He looks like a very young wrestling fan and not a wrestler himself. A fan would have done wonders for him. I mean, Austin Creed standing right next to, Dominik Mysterio. He looks like the father of Dominik. He looks so much older to Dominik, even though they're not very far apart in terms of age, I believe. He looks like I don't know. I would actually like to pull up the ages of both Austin Creed and Dominik just to see the difference. Austin Creed age. All right, so well, what just happened?
Respect. You know you got me. You can eat me in your corner. Don't worry about it. I know your plate's full tonight. I'll take care of it on my own. I'll take care of business.
Yeah, can't get behind Dominik Mysterio at all just now.
Tonight that resulted in the match being made here between Dominik Mysterio and Austin Theory.
By the way, I kept calling him Austin Creed. Austin Theory, right? So let me see Austin Theory's age. So Austin Theory is actually very young. He's 24 years old. And I would like to see the age of Dominik Mysterio. Look, this is the perfect example, all right? It just doesn't get any better than that. I just said that these two are probably not too far apart in terms of age, but if you look at Dominik, you look at Austin, Austin looks so much older to Dominik. Dominik looks like a baby. Austin even looks like the father of the baby. And I'll tell you what, both of these competitors are only 24 years old. Dominik Mysterio is 24 years old. Austin Theory is 24 years old. But look at the difference in both of their appearances. Dominik, shorter, looks younger, has a baby face. Austin, just so much more mature, appearance-wise, taller. Dominik definitely needed the mask. Definitely needed it. I think it was a missed opportunity, and I think it's hurting his career in some way. But let's see. Let's see. Match of the night coming up. Could be. WWE named Keith Lee Bearcat Lee because of a part. Yeah, that's true. It is because of a former pro wrestler. I think it was Keith Lee's own way to honor him. That's good. That's good look. But they haven't been able to book him well. They haven't been book him properly. And tonight's match, if it was a sign of anything to come in the future was terrible. Tonight was the first time that we saw Bearcat Lee in a long time. It is a season premiere of Raw. Tonight should have been special, but instead we saw a very weird squash match, which I don't even know if it was choreographed well. Just like Honesty Check said earlier, that the match was probably announced to both of them 10 minutes ago. It looked very impromptu. It looked like it was not planned at all. They did not know what moves they were going to hit on each other. It just looked very, very weird. So I'm glad that the match is over, but it just goes on to show that they're very impromptu with Keith Lee. They're not really doing much with him. They're not really paying a lot of attention. They're just taking him for granted at this very point. So let's see if that changes in the future. But right now, from what I saw tonight, I'm not very excited or not very thrilled about Keith Lee's future in the WWE main roster. Let's see what happens in the future, though. And the competition is just going to get worse, and it's going to get tighter and harder as more people from NXT 2.0 soon make their debut on Raw. I mean, can you imagine guys like Braun Breaker making their main roster debut? Vince is going to love him, and they're going to push the newer guys more, and it's going to be even harder for guys like Keith Lee, who were already sort of getting lost in the shuffle. It will be hard for them to survive on the roster. So let's see what happens in the future. Alright, so David says, I love the name, but why put him as a mid-card wrestler? His former world champion, he said he'd be a main eventer like he was on NXT. You know the reason, man. Not everybody from NXT makes it big. Actually, only very few people from NXT make it big. So we've seen it with so many people. We've seen it with Shinsuke. We've seen it with Robert Roode, the biggest example. We're seeing it right now with Keith Lee. So many people, there's so many stars been ruined who came from NXT to the main roster. So many people have been ruined by the main roster. And the commercial is still going strong, by the way. If you're wondering, the commercial is still up. It's still growing strong. We've been doing this for about 1 hour, 46 minutes, which means we only have an hour and 15 minutes left on the show, and the show has been nothing but impressive. I have had a hard time, getting entertained by the show. It's been just average. It's just been just okay. Hasn't been the greatest show of all time. I have not been fully entertained. I meant to say he was a former world champion. That's true. Yep, I got it. KJ says they've ruined him. Yep, they have, KJ. They really have. And they've ruined Raw too. I would like to see what KJ, because KJ is going to be taking over our YouTube channel right after I go off the air. He's going to be going on the air with his breakdown show where he's going to be breaking down tonight's episode, and he's going to be reviewing Raw tonight for us. So I would love to see what KJ has to say about the show tonight, because for me, the show has been horrible. It's been hard for me to cover, to do a watch along with. Had it not been for the interaction that we're having tonight, I don't know how would I have survived the show. It's been just terrible. So anyways, we're seeing a 24-year-old versus a very young-looking, baby-looking 24-year-old tonight. It's Austin Theory versus Dominik Mysterio. And is Austin Theory holding a cell phone in his hand? Yeah, he is. Talk about taking away something from Tyler Breeze's book, right? Remember how Tyler Breeze used to come out with a selfie stick, a fur-laden selfie stick with the phone taking selfies? I think that's what Austin Theory is doing tonight. And it's just weird. We tried to come up with something new, right? I mean, how many times do you have to recycle the same old gimmicks? Weird. And you're still mad about the Bray Wyatt thing. Do you expect for Bray Wyatt to show up at Full Gear? A lot of people are banking on it. A lot of people are expecting Bray Wyatt to actually show up at AEW Full Gear. Are you one of those people? Do you want to see him become All Elite? Let me know. And Austin Theory basically trying to be female Bianca Belair as he moves tonight. Just dancing around, showing off, taking selfies. Weird is the word of the night. Weird. Theory has young Cena prototype vibe with some Eddie Guerrero mixed with them. Yep. And that's the reason why I like Theory. No matter what he does, I like him. So Austin Theory, Dominik Mysterio. This match has already. It's been about what? Look at that! Look at that! It's been about what 1 minute into this match, and it's already been more entertaining than any of the match we've seen so far tonight, and it's been more entertaining than any other segment we've seen so far tonight. It's been a good match already, just a minute into it, and these two are already stealing the show. Look at Dominik Mysterio go. I mean, you can tell that Rey Mysterio has really taught him well. No, because he needs to stay in WWE but get a way better push. Well, he's gone from the WWE, and I don't think he's returning anytime soon. So it does look like he will be going to AEW in the near future. It does. And we're talking about Bray Wyatt right now, for those wondering.
Kicked out by Dominik Mysterio. He can't take many more of these. Look at the impact. Dominik's slider nearly snapping backwards over the knee of Austin Theory.
Austin Theory really showing off tonight. He's so confident in the ring. Look at the way he's moving. He knows that he's gonna win. Look at him. With the roll-up pin, Dominik Mysterio with a very near pinfall, with a very close one. And he tried to kick Austin in the gut. Austin blocked it. Now with the kick to the temple of Austin Theory, I think Austin is kind of dazed. He's a little dizzy. He's a little phased out. Now Dominik Mysterio basically showing off his pure athleticism, showing off his moves, his skill set, showing off how good he is in the ring. And Austin Theory also reversing it in the best manner possible. Wow. Is it for Dominik? Wow. That was a pretty short match. I think that I had more expectations heading into this match. I thought it was going to be a better match. I know that honestly, Czech said that this could be the match of the night, but it was a very short match. I think I still feel hungry after this match. I wanted to see more action. I was happy with what we got, but I wanted to see more. Well, we haven't seen anything. We saw just the trailer, not the complete film, and that has me disappointed, to say the least. They're not pushing Liv with her still in this Liv versus Carmella feud. I agree. They're not. They could have given them 50 minutes. That match could have been great. I agree. But all we got was a 2 minutes, 3 minutes match. Maybe the entrance was longer. The commercial break, by the way, was longer than the actual match that we got before the match started. The commercial break was longer than the match. That speaks volumes. It looks like tonight, up next, is going to be a Raw Tag Team Championship match between Riddle, Randy Orton, and Robert and Ziggler. I mean, they wouldn't have this match for no reason, right? I mean, there has to be a reason behind it. Unless it's a cheap way to bring viewership up. That I would understand. They've done it enough times. Maybe they're doing it again. But if they're booking this match seriously, with something in mind, the only thing that could be in mind is the team of Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode actually winning and helping these two break up. Something like that, I expect for it to happen. But let's see what happens.
Clean those dirty dogs up. Get it? Clean them up because they're dirty. Frustrated, that just makes it tougher like that. That just makes RK Bro a stronger tandem, if you ask me.
Just like I said, they try to make everything cartoonish. I mean, look at the Tron behind them on the screen. Look at it. You see a very cartoonish snake on a scooter, right? I mean, they try to make everything cartoonish. They try to sell their merch to the younger audience in every way possible, and it's just weird. It's just plain weird. For the hardcore fans, for fans like us, it's weird. Yeah, it is a weird look. We're not watching Nickelodeon or Disney Channel. We're watching WWE RAW, Monday Night RAW. And to see cartoons on the screen, it's a weird look. And how many times, for God's sake, are we going to see Matt Riddle coming out to the ring on a camel? We've seen it enough times already, but I guess we haven't had enough. We're going to see it another time for the second time tonight itself on Raw. We've seen it so many times, I'm getting tired of it. And just like I said earlier during our watch along for Crown Jewel, I was not a fan of how they used camels. They tied camels next to the stage when the pyro was going off and whatnot, when there was all these flashy lights and the Tron and the smokes and pyros and loud music. I feel like stuff like that can be very, very traumatizing for any animal, any animal, not just a camel. So for a camel to be tied right next to the stage where the pyros go off, I felt like that was a very bad move. But I guess in Saudi Arabia, you don't really get all that animal rights stuff. You don't really get PETA getting involved there. So I guess that's okay, but I wasn't a fan of how they use camels. Not a fan at all. And for a company like the WWE that actually tries to do so much of, fundraising and charity and fighting for good causes, to use animals like that and to actually show it all over, over and over and over and over that Matt Riddle walked to the ring on a camel back, it just isn't a good show. And the commercials during the show have been way too long, by the way. We have been doing this for 1 hour, 56 minutes. I am happy to inform you that we just have one more hour for this watch along before KJ takes over with his breakdown show. So. Yep, the commercials are crazy. They are crazy indeed. And just like I said earlier, guys, we also do exclusive interviews with wrestling stars, from Charlotte Flair to Bobby Lashley, Drew McIntyre, Rhea Ripley, even the rated R superstar Edge and Maria Kanellis. We've interviewed them all. The latest interview that we released was this past week with former Impact Knockouts champion now, Deonna Purrazzo. We did an interview with her. We released this past week. And tomorrow, we are releasing a new interview with the first ever wrestler who appeared both on WWE programming and AEW programming on the very same night. So that interview comes out tomorrow on Tuesday on the Wrassingh show, which will be up right here on our YouTube channel as well. So don't miss on it. Tune in because this should be a very good interview. Ashley Robertson is here. Ashley, thanks for tuning in. Good to see you. And for those of you who are tuning in for the first time, we are Wrestling News, the #1 wrestling news source on Instagram. For the first time ever, we have been doing this for months. We are now new on YouTube. And thank you for tuning in. Thank you for supporting us. We do watch along for every single wrestling show out there. So make sure to subscribe. Thank you so much for subscribing, Ashley. Really appreciate your support. By the way, we're getting a package for Veer, who is coming to Raw, and I am excited because I have been saying this for the longest time, that Veer and Jinder Mahal and Shanky did not go well together. Veer belongs to a whole another background. And Shanky and Jinder Mahal belong to another background. Shanky and Jinder Mahal are Punjabis, whereas Veer is supposed to be a disciple of Lord Shiva. He's supposed to be portraying a Hindu character, whereas Jinder Mahal and Shanky are, those lucky, happy-go-lucky, carefree, happy Punjabis. There were two very different personalities on the same group. I'm glad that they split them up, and now they are moving in different directions with Jinder and Shanky on SmackDown. And I'm sure they'll do great in the title scene, in the tag title scene. And Veer will do great on Raw as a solo performer. He will do fantastic. So I'm excited. Thank you so much for tuning in. Ashley, thanks for subscribing. And everybody who's watching this right now, thank you for your support, and make sure to hit the subscribe button. We really appreciate it. We do watch-alongs for every single wrestling show out there, so make sure to subscribe and stay tuned with wrestling news. All right, so we're seeing Robert Roode, Dolph Ziggler versus RK Bro, and this one is for the Tag Team Championship of Monday Night Raw. Who is going to come out victorious from this match? Who is going to be the new Raw Tag Team Champion tonight on the season premiere of Monday Night Raw? That has yet to be seen. Let's see.
The Raw Tag Team Champions, Riddle and Randy Orton, RK Bro.
Okay. When I look at the tag titles, I still remember when they first debuted these colorful red and blue tag titles. People were not happy. They did not like how the titles look. But now they've grown on me. Now, I'm more used to seeing them. Now I don't mind them at all. They're fine. But still remember the initial reaction that they had, that the fans had to the tag titles. They were not happy. Not at all.
And Riddle, who's been incredibly impressive since arriving on cover already. Only getting one, but so far Dolph Ziggler keeping the pressure on up to his back. And a reversal again.
All right, so we have reached officially. Why did the bell ring twice? I think that it rang once because the match started, and it rang the second time because they wanted to wake the fans up at home and those in the arena, because this show has been so boring. I'm not going to be surprised if people actually fell asleep and they had to ring the bell twice to wake the fans up, So maybe that, I think, is the only possible explanation for the bell ringing twice, right? I mean, there can be no other explanation for that. Yeah. So, guys, we are at 469 subscribers, which means we are just one away from hitting 470. A big milestone on our way to 1K. So if you support us, if you like us, make sure to hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, and let your friends know that they gotta subscribe too, because if they love wrestling, they gotta love wrestling news. And we're seeing Robert Roode and Randy Orton going at it. Randy Orton. Okay, Robert Roode with the elbow to the temple of Randy. Okay, with a chop to the chest. Alright, Robert Roode now climbs the middle rope, and with the punches to the head of Randy Orton. He's showing off right there. I think that show off is not going to be very good. I still remember Dolph Ziggler's old shirt saying that if only show off if you can pull it off, And I feel like that's what Robert Roode should have kept in mind before showing off tonight. He showed off a bit early, he could not pull it off, and now he's paying for the consequences. Randy Orton is in control once again. I think he's going to that zone. Yeah. He was about to hit the RKO out of nowhere, but Robert Roode was able to get out of the way. Lucky for him. But he's not going to be always so lucky, so he got to be careful. He can't be showing off if he cannot pull it off, So, let's see what happens. Yeah, absolutely. I agree. I've always said this. Matt Riddle is 35 years old. Right now, he looks young. He looks fresh. He doesn't even look like he's 35. He looks probably just as old as Austin Theory does, right? Austin Theory is only 25 years old. And Matt Riddle looks young. He looks younger for his age. But my concern is, once he's older, once he's like 40, 44, 42, and he starts to look older, will he still be able to pull off his gimmick with the scooter and with the cool bro gimmick and everything that he has going on? I feel like once he's older, it's just how I feel. I feel like the older he grows and the older he starts to look, the cringier his gimmick is gonna be, and the more repulsive it's gonna be for the fans because you don't want an older looking individual doing all the bro stuff and all the riding the scooter and acting like a teenager. It's just uncomfortable to watch. So I feel like as good as Matt Riddle is and as entertaining as his gimmick might be to the fans, to a lot of fans, it is very limited in terms of time. It is very, very limited. It only has a few years before he will have to switch things up and do something different. This is not the gimmick, something like The Godfather. The Godfather is ageless, it's timeless. It can happen over eras, it can happen over different age groups. This one right here is more like a teenage kind of gimmick. It cannot happen when you're 42 years old or 40 years old. It'll just look uncomfortable to watch. So I do feel that. Riddle needs almost an Edge or Triple H image down the road. I think that a Triple H image would be very hard for Riddle to pull off, so considering Triple H is such a legend. And, the image that he's built, I think it'll be very hard for anybody to have a similar image. But Edge, an image like Edge could definitely be a possibility. Edge is one of the very fun-loving guys. I interviewed Edge prior to his match at WrestleMania 37 against Roman Reigns' Bryan Danielson now, or Daniel Bryan back then. And he's happy. He's a happy guy. He loves making jokes. I've had the pleasure of interviewing so many WWE wrestlers, and usually the interviews that we do with them are very serious, very, 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 uh, corporate like, very, professional. With Edge, we were all laughing from the start to the end. All the answers that he gave were, like they had a bit of a sense of humor reflecting in his answers. So Edge is that kind of a guy in real life. He is that fun-loving guy who loves to pull off pranks, who loves to do stuff, make people happy, make people smile. He's a great guy in real life. Fantastic guy. So we are at 469. Let's get us to 470 subscribers before the night is over. Let's do it. All right, so we're back from the break. We're back from commercial, and we're seeing a bit of a double team here between Ziggler, Roode against Matt Riddle. So Matt Riddle has been cornered. Ziggler, Roode, and now Roode and Matt Riddle are alone in the ring. Roode with another big chop to the chest of Matt Riddle, and Matt Riddle is hurt. He's screaming in pain, screaming in agony. I don't know why these people keep doing it. Tonight, every single wrestler we've seen try to run to the turnbuckle to squash his opponent. That same turnbuckle, the opponent has always been able to get out of the way and let and guide the wrestler to the turnbuckle. It's been done with every single match that we've seen tonight. With every single star who's tried to do this move. So I don't know why they keep doing it. It's just the same repetitive stuff over and over again now. Yep, Roode definitely is putting in some work tonight. He's looking good as well.
Champions once again. Easier said than done. Randy Orton, a giant. Orton's in bad shape right now, though. They got him up. They got him in the ring. Might see a title change right now. Cover. Oh, late kick out, but just in time for Randy Orton. Ziggler now with a crossface submission applied. Looking for it. Orton able to block.
The crossface. So every time I hear the name, the crossface, the name of the move, there's only one wrestler that comes to my mind, and it makes me really, very sad. So I don't know about you guys, but whenever I see anybody locking in the crossface, or I hear the commentators say the crossface, has been locked in, it makes me very sad, very sad. Do you also relate the crossface to that particular wrestling star that I'm talking about? I would love to know if there's anybody else who thinks the same way, because it's been years. It's been what? It happened in 2007, right? And we're in 2021 now. But I still haven't been able to get over it. I still cannot forget it. I still cannot forget when the crossface used to be applied by him and, all the stuff. I mean, he made the move famous. So it's hard for me to actually... It's hard, yeah. Alright, so Matt Riddle trying hard to get in the ring. He's looking for the hot tag. Robert Roode has been slammed hard to the mat. Matt Riddle now, very excited, very energetic, really ready to go, get in the ring. Robert Roode, I think, is going to be a hot tag on both ends, and that's what's happening. It's a very fresh and energetic Ziggler versus a very fresh and energetic Matt Riddle. And from what I can see right now, I think this match is going to end with RK Bro retaining the tag titles. That's what I feel is happening. That's what I feel is this match is headed to. I mean, look at Riddle. He's basically dominating this match. It's right now it's a handicap situation, right? It's a 2 versus 1, and Riddle is basically able to beat both Ziggler and Robert Roode alone by himself. He's been put over so much right now. There is no way that RK Bro will not win this match. They are winning this match, and they are walking out with the Raw Tag Team Championships. It's happening. Believe it or not, it's happening. Yeah, it's not. It's happening. Yep. He's gonna kick out. He did not. But I told you. It was apparent, Randy Orton and Matt Riddle have retained, and they're walking out of here the Raw Tag Champs. And if you're wondering why did they even care to have this match, they did because it's Raw season premiere, and they want to show that, hey, it's a season premiere of Raw. Look, USA Network, we're giving you not one but 2 title matches on the very, very same night. We're giving you the Raw title match. We're giving you the number 1 contenders match. We're giving you all this stuff. We're giving you great matches tonight. So that's why we had this title match. Meaningless, but we had it because it's good for business, right? Great match, bad ending, very well put together. Couldn't have said it better myself. It was a great match, but a very bad ending. Right, and we see Randy and Matt Riddle now celebrating, holding the titles up. RK Bro is going strong, and they look good as a team so far. So maybe they have a bright future together ahead. Let's see. You never know. So we're getting another recap, probably for the 4th time tonight. It's a recap from what we saw during the opening moments of the show, and where Sonya Deville basically announced that we're going to be seeing a fatal 4-way ladder match to determine the new number 1 contender for Big E's WWE Championship. And this ladder match is going to be taking place between Seth Rollins, Kevin Owens, Finn Balor, and Rey Mysterio. And Seth Rollins, and now we see him in a backstage interview. And I've said this time and time again. Kevin Patrick is not fit to be a wrestling interviewer. He looks too clean, too neat, too tidy to be a wrestling interviewer. I don't like him as a interviewer for the WWE. He does not feel like he belongs in this industry of wrestling. It just, for me, it doesn't work. I don't enjoy his interviews. I feel like they're too polished, too professional, just too bland, too bland. So I don't enjoy Kevin Patrick as an interviewer on the WWE. Not a fan. Not a fan.
I'm in pain. I should not have to deal with this match. I should be.
Seth Rollins is not happy. He says that he deserved to be in a title match tonight. He deserved to be in a title match for the WWE Championship against Big E tonight, and not in the number one contenders match. That's why he's angry. I don't understand this anger, but he's angry. So 30 minutes of entrance, 16 minutes of commercial, and 12 minutes. Are you sure it's going to be 12 minutes? It could be less. It could be less. It could be maybe 10 or maybe 8 minutes too, You know how WWE is. But let's not talk about the entrance or the commercials. Let's talk about how many times are we going to get the commercial for this match. How many times are we going to get the highlights from the opening segment of Raw tonight? We've already had it for 3 times. They've already announced it that, this match is taking place tonight. It's already been done so much. And now we're going to commercial. This match is up next. As you said, there are going to be 4 entrances. I could expect maybe 2 commercials between the entrances, maybe 1 commercial after 2 entrances, and 1 commercial after another 2 entrances and a little bit of action. I wouldn't be surprised. It's sad. It's just sad state. But hopefully tomorrow's NXT 2.0 Halloween Havoc is going to be better, and it's going to be more entertaining. I'll tell you what, tonight's Raw was bad, alright? It wasn't the best show in the world, it was bad. I'll just say, I'm not going to powder it, I'm not going to make it look good, I'm not going to make it sound good when it was not good. I'll just say that tonight's Raw was bad, and the only thing that actually made it entertaining for me and tolerable for me was your interaction, especially you, Honesty Check. I gotta say, with all these great comments and the interaction we had, you really made this show great for me. And, worth doing a watch-along for me. So thank you so much for your support and for tuning in. Thank you so much. And the first hour of Halloween Havoc is commercial-free. If that's the case, then amazing. I'm already hyped. Who doesn't love commercial-free television? Wait, thank you so much. Thank you. And we are about to enter the final match of the night. Just like I predicted earlier, I don't think it's going to be Finn Balor. It's definitely not going to be Rey Mysterio. I can say that for sure. Not Rey Mysterio, just no. It's most likely going to be Seth Rollins. If not, no, I'm actually not even going to say if not. I'm probably going to say Seth Rollins. I don't think it's going to be Kevin Owens. It could be, but I don't think so. I think there are greater chances for Seth Rollins to win than Kevin Owens. Although a rivalry between Kevin Owens versus Big E actually makes me excited, because you put any competitor against Kevin Owens, it's going to be great. But if you put Big E versus Kevin Owens, it's going to be amazing. It kind of reminds me of what Kevin Owens did with Chris Jericho, right? Like Chris Jericho at that time, he had some kind of a comical stuff going on. He was trying to be funny. He was trying to, pull off some kind of comical skits every now and then. And the magic that he had with Kevin Owens, it was a bit of a comedy, but it worked really well. The chemistry worked very, very well. Even the feud worked very, very well. And I could see something similar happening with Big E and Kevin Owens because Big E is such a a serious guy. Sorry, Kevin Owens is such a serious guy. Big E is such a carefree, loving guy. He loves to have fun. Chemistry between these two in this feud would be memorable. Or would make for a great feud. So I would be excited to see these two actually feuding over the title, but only if it happens. I still expect Seth Rollins to win and to go after Big E's title, but I would be more than happy if Big E wins. I don't expect for Finn Balor and Rey Mysterio to win at all. Just putting it out there again. Do we see Omos come out and disrupt things? Will WWE rush him into single competition and back break from AJ? Interesting. That's interesting. That is actually an interesting thought, honestly. It's an interesting thought. Uh, you know, WWE could do that if they want to, but I feel not yet. I think that Big E is still new as champion. I think they still want him to have the spotlight. If Omos is put into the title scene, you know that it's going to take the spotlight away from Big E, just considering his sheer size, his how tall he is, his height and whatnot. So Omos, if he's in a feud with Big E or if he's in the title picture, he's going to be taking away the spotlight from Big E, and that's something that WWE would not want to do early on during Big E's title run. So I don't see it happening now, but maybe later. Oh, fantastic! A Crown Jewel recap. Fantastic. Love it. Love it. And for some reason, we're getting a recap for the Bobby Lashley Goldberg match.
One man may not lead. Lashley has wrapped his fist with a chain. A Goldberg from
I'm not sure who asked for it. Definitely not sure about that.
writhing in agony, measuring his man. The table collapsing around Lashley. The intensity has returned to Goldberg's eyes.
And by the way, guys, if you haven't checked out our Instagram, this is the breaking news on our Instagram that was posted some time ago. This is it. SmackDown Replay beats AEW Live Dynamite. So it happened this Saturday night. SmackDown's replay episode, which also featured a fallout from Crown Jewel, not a fallout, but a recap of Crown Jewel. It beat a live episode of AEW Dynamite. SmackDown had about 675,000 live viewers. I'm sorry, 575,000 live viewers, whereas AEW Dynamite had 515,000 live viewers. So a gap of about 60,000 viewers. But it's sad because it was just SmackDown was just a recap show. It was nothing new. It was just a replay of what we had already seen this past week. And AEW was a live show. Still, AEW lost. It speaks volumes of what's going on in the company and the fan that are behind the company. So it's sad. It's sad for sure.
Goldberg was in fact dominant, but you cannot kill the Almighty. Sending a message to everyone on the Monday Night Raw roster earlier today. No one can touch the Almighty. This is still his show. I think you better start saying your prayers for the return of Lashley.
This is the weird part. These wrestlers, back in the day, not even back in the day, let's not go too far behind. Let's go back to 2010, alright? The only time we heard the word return was when somebody got injured and they were forced out of in ring action. That's it. And whenever we heard return, I used to get goosebumps because I knew that, hey, if this guy's returning, he's going to bring something new to the table. He's going to bring an all new momentum. It's going to be fantastic. But now we hear return for any star who's out for like a week or 2 weeks, and he's returning, and he's returning, and he's returning. It makes no sense. Bobby Lashley was not here tonight, and he tweets something out like, when I return. Makes no sense. It's just been a week since we've seen you. Not even a week. We saw you this past Thursday. It's only Monday. What are you talking about returning? You were just taking a day off or something. It's not returning. So, yeah. I just don't get it. Don't get it at all. But we are 2 hours and 24 minutes into the show. which means we have about 30. Okay, Rey Mysterio really headbutting all the fans out there. Okay, so we have about 36 minutes left on the show, and definitely a lot of commercials, at least 3 commercials left. I think we're gonna see 2 or 2.5 entrances tonight before we switch to commercial, and then we're gonna see the other left entrances, and we're gonna see some in-ring action before we switch to commercial. So there are gonna be a lot of commercials for sure. Let's just count how many. And this match is for the number 1 contendership. Whoever wins this match becomes the number 1 contender for the WWE Championship, which is currently held by Big E. When is that match going to take place? We don't know. But what we know is that at Survivor Series, it's going to be champion versus champion. It's going to be the Raw champion, that is the WWE champion, versus the Universal champion, that is the SmackDown champion. Okay, perfect. Doesn't get any better than that. Just when we were about to enter the main event, and we were seeing all these grand entrances, my iPad decides to die, even though it's switched, even though it's plugged in, it decides to die. But no problem, it's turning on now. We should be back at the entrances in no time. So, Honesty says they have nothing for Lashley now. They cut his title run too short. He could have had Reigns type run on Raw. I agree. Bobby Lashley with the title looked fantastic. He looked good, but they just decided to end it for some reason. I feel like Big E could have just held on to the title a bit longer, you know. Maybe they did it to compete with AEW or whatnot, but I felt like Bobby Lashley deserved a longer run with the title. He looked dominant. I think everybody would have really enjoyed watching Bobby Lashley, WWE Champion, versus Roman Reigns, Universal Champion at Survivor Series. But we're not going to get that match now. So I'm a little bit sad about it. He even looked the part when he dressed like 80s Flair. He did. He looked fantastic. He dressed like 80s Flair. You know, he had all that, MVP, the Hurt Business. He had all the girls, Lashley girls. Fantastic. They really were able to pull out the whole look, the whole character, the whole gimmick. So it's sad that they really had to end it so soon. Brian, welcome Brian to the stream. And Brian thinks that Finn Balor is going to be walking out of the Raw season premiere episode tonight as the number 1 contender to the WWE Championship. And just like we discussed earlier, Honesty Check said, so 30 minutes of entrance, 60 minutes of commercial, and 12 minutes for a ladder match. And that's what we're seeing. We saw 2 entrances. We saw one. Okay, we see 2.5 entrances basically. We saw one with Rey Mysterio. We saw with Kevin Owens, and I think we saw with Finn Balor too. So we're now on commercial. It's gonna be another commercial for let's say like 4 or 5 minutes before we switch back to the show. Then we're gonna get another entrance, and then we're gonna get some action, then commercial, then some action, then commercial, then at last some action, and then the show is over. So the show has been weird. It's been weird. It's not been the most boring show. It's not been the most entertaining show either. It just felt very, very lengthy. It felt very slow. Yeah, that's my only complaint with the show tonight. And guys, we are at 469 subscribers. You can do it. Get us to 470 before the night is over. You can do it. Let's do it. Get us to 470. And by the way, the night doesn't get over when I go off the air because KJ White is going to be taking over with his breakdown show where he is going to be breaking down tonight's Raw, reviewing it for the fans, and just letting us know about his thoughts on the show while giving us a recap of everything that happened tonight. So make sure to tune into Breakdown if you're not going to bed. Okay, so commercials. Long commercials. But even despite of all these commercials, Raw gains millions of viewers every single week, whereas AEW is still stuck in the 600,000 range. So, speaks volumes. Okay, so we are still on commercials if you're wondering. I think that it would be safe to name tonight's show as Monday Night Commercials plus Raw instead of just Monday Night Raw because we have had an extraordinary amount of commercials tonight and it's just get irritating at this point. Raw has become sketch comedy. Each angle dies weekly, but that's the point of sketch comedy. I agree, totally. You are on point with your opinions tonight, by the way. Honesty check, you're really good at it. Let's say. So Halloween Haywood commercial once again is airing tomorrow, and just like Honesty Check said earlier, the first hour of Halloween Haywood is gonna be commercial free. So one good thing about it, I still remember. Do you remember, guys? Donald Trump, former, actually 45th president of America, when he was before he was president, before he was WWE Hall of Famer, he was once the principal owner of Monday Night Raw. And as the principal owner of Raw, okay, so next week we're going to see a Raw Women's Championship match between Bianca Belair and Becky Lynch. This just in. It's going to be a Raw Women's title match between Bianca Belair and Becky Lynch next week on Raw. So Donald Trump, as the principal owner of Raw, actually made Raw commercial free. And I remember that night. It was a great night. Really enjoyed it. We did not get commercials on TV. It was fantastic. And then Vince McMahon lost it. He was not happy with how they were losing money, how he also refunded the ticketing fee to the fans and audience and all of that stuff. I mean, and that's when Donald Trump sold back Raw to Vince McMahon at double the price. But it was great. At least Donald Trump gave us commercial-free Raw. So I guess that's good thing that Donald Trump did, right? So, right, time for some water because I'm losing my voice now. Right. For some reason, Seth Rollins now looks really, very happy to be around a ladder. Early on in the show, when they announced it to be a ladder match, Seth Rollins was angry. He said, "No, why a ladder match? Why?" But now he looks surprisingly very happy to be around a ladder. I'm not too sure why, but he looks happy. So we've got Honesty Checks saying it's going to be Seth Rollins. We have Brian saying it's going to be Finn Balor. We also had, I believe, Nicole say that it was going to be Finn Balor who was going to be picking up the win. I think it's going to be Seth Rollins. Let's see who is it going to be. But Finn Balor versus Big E would be a bland feud. Rey Mysterio versus Big E would be a weird feud. Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins seem to be only reasonable competitors for Big E at this point. Seth looks like he knows he's going to win the title soon. He does, right? He looks very confident. He looks happy. He's laughing hard. He looks very comfortable tonight. As I'm seeing Finn Balor right now, I'm just wondering what is next for this guy. I mean, he had everything going when he first made his main roster debut and won the Universal title. I mean, he was at the top of his game. They made him defeat Roman Reigns, who, by the way, was being pushed as the guy back then. And, it all just went away. It slipped out of his hands real soon. So it just makes me wonder, are we going to see Finn Balor as the main roster, main champion anytime soon? Are we ever going to see him holding the WWE Championship or the Universal Championship in the near future? Or are those things just things of the past for Finn Balor? It really makes me wonder. Edge helped make Rollins relevant again. Not that he helped, and he needed it, but it helped. Look, I feel like Seth Rollins got a bit overexposed during the Thunderdome era. Seth Rollins, Randy Orton, these were some of the guys who really carried the Performance Center era and the Thunderdome era on their back. They really worked hard, showed up every single night. I felt like Seth Rollins got a bit overexposed during that time. We saw a very cringy eye-to-eye, eye-for-eye match. We saw Seth Rollins do the drip thing all alone when there was nobody in the audience to cheer him on. He got a bit overexposed, is what I feel. And Edge brought back the legitimacy of Seth Rollins through his feud with him. And that's where I feel like really Seth Rollins benefited from his feud against Edge. But other than that, he definitely did not need it. But he needed it in some capacity because I feel like he got overexposed during his Thunderdome era, and he needed somebody big to feud with him so he can gain relevancy once again. And he did. He gained the importance back and he gained the relevancy back. Yeah, he was overexposed, yeah. Another commercial, just like we discussed earlier, we saw a commercial during the entrances. We are now seeing a commercial after one entrance and a little bit of action, if you want to call it action. And now we are back in commercial. It's been terribly bad. I mean, this show has already felt so stretched out. It's already felt so weak. And to get so many commercials, especially for one single match, during one single match itself, it's just been hard. It's hard. 2 hours, 36 minutes is the time that we have been live. So we have about 20, a little more than 20, 24 minutes left on the show. So should be over very soon. They literally rested for 3 minutes before the first commercial. It's sick, isn't it? It's really sick. So WrestleMania 38 tickets, by the way, WrestleMania 38 tickets are going on sale next month. November 8th is when they release the travel packages for WrestleMania 38. So people who want to buy a package, let's say, Hotel, Mania, Hall of Fame, NXT, everything covered under one package. They get it all, even access and meet and greets. They get it all for one flat rate. It goes on sale on November 8th. For those of you who want to buy solo tickets for different shows, you can buy it on November 12th. It's when they go to sale for general public, and you can buy it on November 12th. So what ticket are you going to buy? Are you going to be, going to WrestleMania 38 in Texas next year? Let me know, because who knows, we might end up meeting, right? I mean, it's Texas, the whole wrestling world is gonna be there, it's WrestleMania. Would be nice to meet up. So let me know if you're actually going to WrestleMania 38 next year. And we are still on commercial. Somebody actually suggested to me in the comments some time ago, they said that you should do a live watch-along like you do, along with some gaming stream, so you could live stream your PS5 while you're doing a watch-along. So during the commercials or when the show gets boring, you can still a bit of the gaming while you talk about wrestling as well. I think it's really very needed for matches like these, for shows like these, where it gets really boring and the commercials just get way too long. I think it might be something that I will consider doing in the future, maybe from next week, from next Monday. But I think considering how long and stretched out and boring these shows look, especially Raw, I think it's something that really needs to be done. Apparently, the first 30 minutes are commercial free. It's sad that yeah, I agree. It is sad, right? Just the first 30 minutes, by the way. That's bad. Okay, thankfully we're back from commercial, and we still have about 20 minutes left. 20 minutes and a few seconds left on the show, which obviously means that we're gonna get 2 more commercials before the show is over. So no reason for us to get too excited, even though they're back from commercial. We're definitely getting at least 2 more commercials before the show goes off the air. and Seth Rollins is in control. All other three competitors are relying on each corner of the ring.
Owens and a ladder. Owens spine crashing into a ladder. This is like human demolition derby. Who that was worse for, Mark? It's a hazardous, pain-filled environment that will shorten your career. And it's all about who is
But this is what I appreciate what they did tonight. They had a ladder match on a random episode of Raw. I like it, you know? I'm not a very big fan of themed pay-per-views where you only get ladder matches for TLC pay-per-view or Money in the Bank. I like it when you get a ladder match at SummerSlam or on SmackDown or on Raw, or if you get, an Extreme Rules match on at Royal Rumble. I like the randomness of it. I like where pay-per-views are not defined by a particular match, but they're defined by a theme, such as Armageddon, such as Survivor Series, such as bragging rights. There's a theme to it, but you can have whatever match you want. You don't have to have only TLC matches or only Extreme Rules matches. You can have anything. By the way, Extreme Rules pay per view is a joke, considering this year's Extreme Rules had nothing extreme about it. It had nothing extreme about it. So maybe they should stop calling it Extreme Rules and start calling it Soft Rules or Soft Matches. It was nothing extreme. There was nothing extreme about it.
right to the back of Owens' knee. Uh-oh. Buckle bomb. And Owens answers with a super kick. Your instinctual response from Kevin Owens. I cannot believe Kevin Owens came back with a super kick.
So Seth Rollins basically buckle bombed Kevin Owens through the corner, but Kevin Owens no sold that one. He did not sell it at all. He did not even show like he was in any kind of pain, and he just super kicked Seth Rollins out of there. Kevin Owens has busted open. His forehead has busted open. He's bleeding a little bit. He's opened up, and now he's climbing up the ladder. And because there's nobody to stop him from doing so, he's now pretending that he's hurt, and he's actually taking some time climbing up the ladder because he's waiting for somebody to come out and stop him from getting that contract. Weird. Why do the most athletic people become the most uncoordinated person in the world climbing the last two steps on the ladder? That's because the other people, they couldn't make it in time to the ring to stop him from grabbing the briefcase of the contract. That's why they gotta wait for their homies to come in and stop them, right? They're just looking out for their homies. That's what they're doing.
Particularly with three other opponents. Three other opponents, as you pointed out, were former champions, extremely proud. That's what you're sort
I still remember when Big Show was in a Money in the Bank match, and they actually had a very special ladder just for the Big Show to climb upon. Remember that? They had a very huge golden colored ladder for the Big Show. Good stuff. WWE used to be really unpredictable, even like in 2010, 2010 to 2015. It was still a great time to be a WWE fan. It still is. They still deliver good shows. Crown Jewel was a good show as well. But just like I said, it gets predictable at times. It gets very, very cheesy a lot of times. And that's just what I do not appreciate a lot. But maybe it's just nostalgia that kicks in every time I talk about the 2010 WWE. But I really miss that era. I do. I really do.
nowhere, Seth Rollins laying out Kevin Owens. And Finn Balor. Rollins now in the pole position. Took a high risk that paid off for the visionary. Now,
All right, so 2 hours, 44 minutes into the match, which means we have roughly about 15 minutes to go. So are we gonna get more commercials? It does seem like it. Yeah, I'd be surprised if we don't. We should get at least one more commercial, but let's see.
Kevin Owens now. Clear the way, got his hands on Rey Mysterio.
Is Kevin Owens going to go for the powerbomb? Counter. And Rey Mysterio is now going for the 619.
Sort of environment. WWE Universe in Houston, not thrilled with Rollins in that instance.
So it was 619 into the ladder, and I'm pretty sure Rey Mysterio's feet are just as hurt as Kevin Owens' head, if it did hurt his head at all. We've still got 15 minutes more into this match, which clearly means that this match is not getting over anytime soon, and nobody's going to be bringing out that contract anytime soon. They're going to fight a little more. They're going to brawl a little more. There is still 15 minutes left. We have to go to one more commercial for sure, right? There's no way the match is ending before at least one more commercial. We're seeing a lot of high dives during this match. People are brawling outside of the ring, and then we see one or the other competitor just dive in. So many dives also get too repetitive, I must say. Dives are good if you see them once in a while and they're very surprising and whatnot. But if you do it every other minute, they get more annoying than anything, It needs to be done. It really needs to be done. Would be fantastic, actually. And actually, I could see it happening. I would not be surprised if it actually happens. It needs to happen. But do you feel like WWE's creative team is creative enough to come up with something like that? Do you think so? But it could happen. Why would they have a father in the WWE Championship scene when the son is around, right? It should be the son who should be getting the shot. You talk about a new season, a new era of Raw. You're talking about, all these fresh faces, and then you have guys like Rey Mysterio, whose son is around, but you have him wrestle for the number one contendership for the WWE Championship. It makes no sense. If you want to talk about being progressive, if you want to talk about, being this fresh new face, you have to have newer people and not the same old people all over again, So that's I agree. I absolutely agree with you. And guys, for those of you who are joining us for the first time and you don't know the drill, the way it goes is that as soon as WWE RAW goes off the air, as we do with every other wrestling show out there, as soon as they go off the air, we will put an end to this stream of this watch-along, and KJ White is going to be starting another stream on our YouTube channel where he's going to be giving you a recap and a review of Monday Night Raw. So he's going to be telling you all that happened tonight, all the results, the complete recap, and he's going to be giving you his honest, unfiltered opinion on the show. Exactly, you have Rey in a fatal four-way, but is he still a tag partner with Dominik? Yeah, I guess he is, but yeah, makes no sense. Or they would not do it, or they will not have, Dominik come out tonight, and they just had Rey Mysterio on, this match because they wanted to add more star power to it, because they wanted to tell USA Network, look, we've got, people like Seth Rollins, Rey Mysterio, Finn Balor, Kevin Owens, such big stars in the main event of your show on your network, so you should be happy. Maybe that's why they have Rey Mysterio. Maybe that's about it. WWE definitely works in weird ways, It definitely does. These commercials are way too long, by the way. Way too long. Just like Honesty said, now I love that comment, so that's why I'm going to post it here again. Honesty Check said, so 30 minutes of entrance, 16 commercial, 12 minutes of ladder match. And If that wasn't a joke, it was a prediction. That's exactly what we're seeing. We saw a lot of commercials, uh, long entrances, elaborate entrances, and very less wrestling. All right, so it's Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins who are alone in the ring. Seth Rollins hit Kevin Owens with the DDT. Rey Mysterio is now climbing up the ladder to try and grab the contract. Kevin Owens tosses the ladder away. Why, though? You can actually put it back in position and climb the ladder yourself and grab the contract. But he just had to toss it away, I guess. And he did. And now he's closing the ladder. He's shutting it. For what? Wow. So he's just using a ladder as a weapon to attack his opponents because he's not concerned about the contract, because he doesn't need to win it. He just wants to cause hurt to his opponents right now. Zero sense. Zero sense. Congratulations, Seth Rollins. Very sensible. Very, very sensible. And Seth Rollins has now shoved Finn Balor to this corner of the ring, and the corner has the ladder in position. So Finn's skin meets the steel of the ladder, and I think Finn is trying to gain some momentum. And just like he was trying to do that, Kevin Owens kicks Finn in the head. Finn no-sold that one, so Kevin Owens with another kick to the head. Finn no-sells that one once again with the reverse kick to Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens is dazed. Rey Mysterio is in position. He puts Finn Balor down, goes for the 619, which Kevin Owens reverses and slams Rey Mysterio hard to the mat. And Rey Mysterio is now tending to the chest. Everybody is down. I think Kevin Owens is the only one who is sort of in control. But the WWE, they cut out of the ring. They're not. They're actually, yeah, I'm not sure why, but Kevin Owens slammed Rey Mysterio hard to the mat. He did not take any beating himself. He should have been able to get up and climb the ladder right now, but no. He decides to just relax and lay down on the mat and just take a quick nap, it seems. Weird. And the ladder is already in the ring. There already is a ladder in the ring, but Seth Rollins, for some reason, feels the need to go down ringside and get on the ladder. There, you already have a ladder in the ring, guy. Like, I don't know why. Did you feel the need to have another ladder being brought into the picture? So this is one of the moves that we see in WWE 2K19, an OMG finisher move. It seems like that's what we're going to see tonight as well. Just like I said, there's already another ladder in the ring. Maybe Seth Rollins is not too interested in winning this match. Maybe he's more about putting the pain up on his opponents than actually winning the match, and that's why he's wasting so much time. Finn Balor actually had the contract in his grasp. He was holding on to it. He couldn't pull it off. Weird. Considering the people involved, this ladder match is terrible. Absolutely terrible is the word. And Kevin Owens, Rey Mysterio both tossed out of the ring. Kevin Owens tossed out of the ring. Rey Mysterio, I don't know what he's going to do. But Seth Rollins, wherever he is, it is your opportunity. It is your chance. Just get in the damn ring. Grab that contract. It's right there up for you to do it. But no, Kevin Owens doesn't do it. Seth Rollins doesn't do it. They're both wasting a lot of time. This makes no sense to me whatsoever. Kevin Owens is climbing up the ladder. And, the last final two steps, he slows down. He's waiting for somebody to come and stop him. Is that what's happening? He has the contract in grasp. Just take it off. Why are you concerned about anybody climbing the ladder right now? This makes no sense. And it's pretty clear at this point that Kevin Owens is not winning. I mean, he had it in his grasp. He had it in his hands. But still, Owens twice was botching the briefcase. Exactly. He had it in his grasp. But of course, they're not going to end the night before doing the OMG move with that steel ladder, right? Of course, they had to do that. It was in position. They had to do something with it. And they just did that right there. So Finn Balor is now climbing the ring. Seth Rollins is going to climb with him. He's going to toss Finn Balor down, and he's going to win. So predictable. We called it way early in the match. And look, stomped the skull of Finn Balor. And Seth Rollins is now going to climb, and he's going to win. We called it way early into this match. We called it, actually, like 10 minutes into the show that it's gonna be Seth Rollins. It made no sense for Ray to win. Made no sense for Finn to win. Kevin Owens, we know that WWE is not so nice to Kevin Owens. They would never give him a title shot. Seth Rollins, congratulations, the architect, the Drip King, whatever you might want to call him, has won the match, and he is going to be facing Big E for the WWE Championship in the near future. We don't know when. It's just going to happen in the near future. Thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. It was a pleasure calling the show, calling the action with you. Special thanks to Honesty Check, who has been incredible, who stuck around from the start to the finish of the show. Thank you so much for your support. It was lovely interacting with you. And tomorrow I'm going to be back with a watch-along, a live watch-along for NXT Halloween Havoc. Should be a good show. Should be an entertaining one. Thank you so much for your time. It was great interacting with you. Great talking to all of you. And guys, KJ White is going to go on the air with his review show, which is known as The Breakdown. So don't go anywhere. Tune into The Breakdown as KJ White takes over and goes over the results of the match and reviews the show for all of you. All right, and we're getting a recap of what we saw once again, if we hadn't had a lot of recaps already in the show. But we're getting a recap, and we're now seeing Seth Rollins and how he, took off the contract of the hook. It was so easy. Kevin Owens could have done it twice, but he did not. And this is how the season premiere of WWE Monday Night RAW comes to an end. Seth Rollins with the contract in his hand. He's going to be facing Big E, and of course I knew it. Big E is not coming out. I think we're going to see some face-to-face here. So Big E is actually going to face his first serious competitor ever since winning the title. This is going to be his first serious competition. It's actually going to show if Big E can actually hang out with the main event, main eventers, hang out with former champions. If he can actually he actually belongs in the same league as Seth Rollins. Big E has a lot to prove. Seth Rollins is a great entertainer. Big E's a great wrestler and somewhat of a great entertainer as well. It just has to be seen if he can actually go head-to-head and toe-to-toe, not just in the ring, but also on the microphone, also outside of the ring, also in the segments against Seth Rollins. It's going to be a tough one. We'll just see what happens. And we're once again getting a recap for it. We just saw the recap 2 seconds ago. But since it's not, the show time is not yet over, we're getting another recap. Yeah, I'm sick of all these recaps, but we're getting another recap. All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. It was a pleasure calling the action for all of you. Take care, have a good night, and stay tuned as KJ White takes over with his breakdown. Thank you so much. Have a good night.